Sorry, my mic was off. Hello, Durud and Shalom and Hola. We be live.
Shalom.
I was just speaking into a muted mic. Sorry, guys. There we go. Everything
Happens to the best of us.
Oh, thank you. And look at this stick and beans with already at the beginning with 10 membership gifts. We haven't even started, and we got 10 membership gifts. Thank you, stick and beans. And look at this, the Jal guys. We got an admin from the depths of hell now. So look at this. Our admin list is growing, and thank you so much, Dejal, our new admin. I appreciate you.
It's gonna pull you guys into the depths if you don't behave.
Yes. yes. Okay, Monkey. With regards to what the potential military operations that might be happening or might not be happening, have you seen anything in the past 24 hours that makes you more optimistic or pessimistic, or what are we feeling today? What do you think?
I think what I said was happening. What I said yesterday is probably going to happen. What I said yesterday was they're gonna wind down before the stock opens. They're gonna say we have a deal when the stock opens, or today, this afternoon maybe. So the stock opens better. They're gonna offer a deal. The deal is gonna be for a week, maybe a month. I wouldn't go for a month, but they might say, yeah, let's make it go a month. They won't stand by it anyway. It's going to turn into attack by Wednesday or Thursday. And we retaliate, but maybe not take it off the table. Maybe take it off the table. Like I don't want them to be able to accept the deal because I see terrible repercussions for that. But that's where I see it going. Like if I'm gonna predict, that's what I'm predicting. Like I don't want it, but this is not what I want, but I think it's what might happen.
So there are a lot of people think that any delay on the military operations is only a delay. A major escalation of military operations is only a delay, and war is inevitable. I've also seen some people suggesting that probably they're going to hit Pickaxe Mountain and then pull back and go back to negotiations. See if the Islamic Republic is going to behave differently after they hit Pickaxe Mountain. I've heard that. I'm not saying if any of these is true. I'm just communicating the stuff that I'm hearing from some people who have been following this and who have been other people. I mean,
I'm surprised they haven't hit it already.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's get an update on where we are at before we. So I want everybody to be on the same page. And Monkey, like, so whenever you need to speak, if I forget to, because I've been like my mind is so many places. I just finished my Persian show, so if I ever forget to ask you for your opinion, just be like, open your mic, like, can I add something? And I will for sure pause everything and let you get your words in. Okay, sometimes I might forget to ask you, so just let me know. Okay, all right.
Can I add something?
Yes,
you guys see how sweet Armin is? That's what I want to
add. I love you, Monkey. Thank you. Kevin, thank you so much for the membership gift. I appreciate you. I see you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. All right, let's see what's happening here.
Welcome back. Right now, the White House reportedly weighing a complex plan to snatch enriched uranium from Iran's nuclear sites, eyeing the mysterious Pickaxe Mountain, a deep fortress the terror regime believes cannot be destroyed and has never been visited, never, by inspectors. Let's take a closer look at the key nuke capabilities still in place. Okay, so this is Pickaxe Mountain. It's called Pickaxe Mountain because literally the translation of the mountain in Persian is pickaxe. It is.
Look, it's like dead center. It's like dead center. Like it's right in the middle of Iran, and it's kind of like in the middle of nowhere.
Literally the translation of the mountain in Persian is pickaxe. It is a facility that is right next to Natanz. You'll remember Natanz, Fordo, Isfahan were the sites that were struck back during Operation Midnight Hammer last summer, but we did not hit Pickaxe Mountain. So why are they talking about it now? Well, because satellite imagery showed construction along the road continued.
I mean, to be fair, we have been talking about this for a long time. The reason why they weren't talking about it before, it was because it was a big, deep hole with not that. I think that's why they weren't talking about it, because with not that much, with nothing in it. They knew, the Americans knew, the Israelis knew why they were building it, but it kind of didn't make sense to talk about it or bomb it, because then you will be bombing an empty hole. But now there's something in it.
Around this, you can see Pickaxe Mountain is about a mile.
And by something, we mean centrifuges and potentially also enriched uranium.
Along the road continued around this. You can see Pickaxe Mountain is about a mile from, but possibly adjacent by tunnel to Natanz, and it suggests that Iran is trying to reconstitute their nuclear program. But here's what's really interesting. So here's why it's difficult to hit. That's what I care most about, because it's considered to be 300 to 450 feet underground, reinforced. Back during Operation Midnight Hammer, we had the GBU-57, our 30,000-pound massive ordnance penetrator bombs that were dropped from B-2s that flew in stealth from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. They dropped it. They could only hit 200. And experts say that even if you dropped multiple GB-57s sequentially on top of each other, even though they go 200, you couldn't keep going down. And that suggests that we possibly might have to use special forces to get into.
Oh, Amu Jeff was saying this in our group call, in our discussion group, that like we were wondering if, okay, so one bunker buster cannot go down that deep. What if you make a bunker buster and then you have a big hole and then you have a bug that you keep digging with bunker busters? And then Amu Jeff, in our discussion group, in our group call, he was explaining that yes, this is a thing that bunker busters can be used for digging, but there's certain places where when you make a hole, it just keeps getting refilled. You know, the way that I don't understand how the mountain, you know, the dirt around that area works, but apparently you can't do that here. I mean, at least according to this guy, you can't. So guys, we were wondering, there's 4 options. Keep digging with bunker busters one after the other one. Tactical nuclear weapons. Also, now we know that that's not an option. Tactical nukes, they're telling us that that's not on the table. Special forces going in and doing this, extremely risky, but doable, but risky. Okay, there's 5 options actually. A deal, which is something that you guys don't want, and it's very hard to do. Some people say impossible with the Islamic Republic, but even if there is a chance, Monkey is telling us that he doesn't want even a small chance. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like that there is even a small chance, and I see his point. You could go try to get a deal to get the uranium and centrifuges out there, getting like inspectors in there, right? Inspectors in there to making sure, like with a deal with the Islamic Republic, to none of that is happening. And then there's the 5th option, which is the option that I think most of us here think that is the only option, which is regime change. Regime change is a solution to everything. Not by United States, regime change by the Iranian people, with the aid of United States, but by the Iranian people. So that will fix the situation. That will fix all your problems. That will fix your nuclear problems. You fix your Hormuz problems. That you fix your proxy terrorist problems. That's the option that we like, right? Like, Monkey, do you agree with that?
Yes. Well, here's the thing. I love the regime change option. I just want to talk a little bit about the other options that we said. You can send you can send special forces in. I would have a lot of drones with them, small drones, big drones, all kinds of drones with them, just to explore ahead, make a little hole. You just need a hole big enough to get a person or a squad through. Well, first of all, a robot through. You only need a hole big enough to get like a little watcher in there, right? Like a little tube in there to look. And you can, there are ways to do that. It is extremely risky. Like you would almost expect casualties. It would be a given. that you would have casualties in a situation like that. There wouldn't even be a doubt. There is cheap charges, like you send a bomb and then send another bomb to clear, because you have to imagine it like sand or like quicksand or mud, right? Like you're trying to dig a hole, but it's mud and it's raining. So you do make some headway, but then the mud kind of goes back in the hole and it gets harder to pull the material out. And the material gets in the way of the shovel. So maybe it's harder underneath, but every time you push that shovel in, it has to go to more material to get down. So every time it's going to hit the bottom, it's going to hit with less force. You understand what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
like digging a hole in mud when you're talking about loose debris in a strike zone. You can have some shapes, like have one charge that's for digging and another one that's just for clearing. There's ways to do that, but at the end of the day, regime change would be the best option. The problem also is, how long does it take regime change to control that area? How long before you get up there? What I would do is try the regime change option, start vetting people from south to north in that particular area. Just continue, like they say, mowing the lawn. Just keep striking it until no one can come out. And once you get up there, you're up there.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you. Oh wow, we got already some super chats and a comment that you started. So Fleshy Interloper saying Armin Monkey Love Club. Hey, don't give him any ideas, okay? This guy is out of control.
I said brotherly love in the chat.
Brother. Yes, okay.
Unincestuous love, brotherly love.
Oh my god. Okay, stop. See, I knew it. I knew it's gonna get weird. Okay.
But I cleaned it. That's yeah. I had
Listen,
talked about this. Jeff also
oh, what
talked
is this?
about this. Thank you, Sarayu. Monkey
Okay,
told us
mm.
about the digging with the bombs as well. Yes, I did. I think Sarah, you backed me up on this in the conversation yesterday.
Thank you, Monkey. Thank you for doing that. And then we got another super chat from Mark of Reality, saying, which kind of special forces? Each kind has its own speciality, and it makes a difference for boots on the ground questions. Green Berets basically train, equipped insurgencies like the Immortal Guard. That's a very good point. Monkey, I think, would be the best to answer this.
Yes. Which one? Yes, that's the answer. Yes.
All of them, you mean?
All of them. Yes. You would need Navy. Yes, you need all of them. You need deltas. Some deltas are trained specifically for this and have been training for this specific scenario for 30 years, 20 years. Like for this specific scenarios. Like deltas would definitely be in play. DevGru would definitely be at the beach. That's the Navy SEALs like top team, right? Those are the ones that are. You know why everybody knows about the Navy SEALs? Because they're the only ones allowed to talk to the media. Like the Navy SEAls know that the real top dogs are Delta. They don't even quibble about it. They're not even gonna argue about it. Oh yeah, we know Delta is the best, but Delta isn't allowed to talk about what they do or how they train or anything like that. The SEAls are. So they get to get movies made out of them. You understand? They get the most glamour. They're like this. Some people say part of your retirement package when you stop being a SEAL is you get a book deal, because they're very very much tough badasses. Like I wouldn't want to fuck with one of them, but they do get to have like a promotional arm into the best of the best. You would want them there, but you'd also want the Green Berets because they're good at that training stuff and that integrating into the locals stuff. So all of them, basically, you would need commandos, like Air Force commandos, to guide air support from the ground and help any local airports that need to be taken. You need all of them. I don't know what the special forces are for Space Force, but yes, I'm guessing Space Marines.
Space Marines? What the hell? Okay. Okay.
This is the first level. In 4,000 years, you get 40K Space Marines. Those are different.
Okay. Okay. So we got the best answer to that. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, so is it Green Berets? Is that the best unit for arming and training the Iranian people on the ground?
As far as I know, they are the best for like infiltration of a group, like an insert. Like if you have people on the ground that are against the government you're fighting, those are the guys. Those are the guys who would train. Those are the guys that you would link up with local populations, local governments, and the Artesh.
Okay,
those are the guys.
Ooh, so if we ever see them moving, that means it's getting serious. serious, right? We're moving into the direction that we want. If we ever seen them moving,
Those guys may already be there. At least the top of them on glows.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. Fleshy Interlopers with a super chat saying each containment makes your enemy tougher. Oh, yeah. Containment strategy doesn't work. Just end them. You're right.
Yes.
Yes. The containment. Yeah. Agreed. Justin, thank you so much for the super chat saying top dogs or Marine Force Recon. Is that, did I read it right?
Marine Force Recon also
Recon.
Yes, they're some of the what you would call the tier, like the high tier ones for Marines. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you guys, this is why we have the monkey here. He knows his military stuff. Thank you, monkey, for being
At least the grunt
here.
level. That's the people who we look up to, right? Like I was always at a company level, battalion level. I never went like really far above that. I was always just a grunt, a grease monkey, basically. But they're very we all looked up to them. Like even if you're in the Army, you're not in the Navy, you look up to the SEALs, you look up to Force Recon, you look up to Deltas and Green Berets.
Well, we should also look up to the grease monkeys. They're an essential part of the operation, so I'm sure they look up to you.
When their machines are broken, you better believe it. Yes.
Yeah.
They love us. When we can fix your stuff, they love us. But some of them have that kind of training. They like mix it in. Like there's high tier grease monkeys. There's some monkeys that like even, oh my God, I always wanted to be like that monkey. That's a gorilla right there.
Well, thank you for your service, monkey. Always. Thank you. There was a question, somebody new here. By the way, welcome to our group. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Saying, I'm new to this live thingy. How many people do you think out of the Iranian population want a regime change? So that's a very good question. And there's two layers to this, right? There are people who are extremely anti, like there are many that. So two questions. How many people are against the Islamic Republic? How many people are for the Islamic Republic? How many people want regime change, right? So when it comes to how many people are against the Islamic Republic, it's the vast majority, right? Vast majority. Even the government employees, the vast majority of them are against the regime, right? So I would say easily above 95% of Iranians are against the regime. Like they do not like the Islamic Republic easily. And I'm being conservative here, okay? But the question is, there are some people, there are some Iranians who are against the Islamic Republic. They don't like the Islamic Republic, but do not necessarily think regime change is possible or if it's worth the hassle, right? I'm not saying there's a lot of them. I don't know the answer. I would still believe that I still think above 80% of Iranians are for regime change. More than 95% of Iranians don't like the Islamic Republic, but I don't know what percentage of Iranians hate the Islamic Republic and don't know but can't see how regime change. So there's a percentage of Iranians who are in the middle, who don't like the Islamic Republic, but at the same time, they don't know if regime change is possible or worth the cost. And that percentage is unknown. I don't know that, right?
Like I would add to this that it's hard to prove statistically because you would have to go into Iran and get an open poll and get people to not be afraid enough to say it. Like there's people that are not going to be, they're not going to trust that when they say I hate these people, that's not going to go out. So they're going to think there's someone looking over my shoulder. I better say I love these people, right? So even though the polls point like very much towards the people not liking the regime, like being against it, wanting a change in regime, it's gonna downplay the real number because of the real dangers of anyone finding out that's what you think.
Right. Exactly. So let's continue now with this video.
From B-2s that flew in stealth from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, they dropped it. They could only hit 200. And experts say that even if you dropped multiple GB-57s sequentially on top of each other, even though they go 200, you couldn't keep going down. And that suggests that we possibly might have to use special forces to get into a facility that inspectors have never been to. So with that, let's bring in Fox News contributor and former CIA station chief Dan Hoffman. Dan, I tried to lay it out. You understand better than I. When we hear that there is possibly something coming, do you believe that we could get to what's in Pickaxe Mountain with just bombs, or could it need special forces?
Oh, good question.
Well, Griff, I think it starts with intelligence, and that means human intelligence from our sources inside Iran and those of our allies. Overhead reconnaissance. We've been conducting surveillance of these sites for quite some time, and those the intelligence reporting would be presented to the president, and that would give the president an idea about where the centrifuges are. We're interested in centrifuges, nuclear, highly enriched uranium, as well as where Iran's scientists are. Obviously, that's all critical for us. And then the president would be looking at options, military.
Look at how Natanz is so close to the Pickaxe Mountain. They're probably connected underneath with each other, right? That means that the enriched uranium probably made it towards the Pickaxe Mountain, right? So the question is like,
that where it was?
Yeah, the enriched uranium was in Natanz facility. So, and I don't know if they're connected. Don't see why they wouldn't be connected. And that probably means that some of the enriched uranium is now in Pickaxe Mountain, right? Wouldn't that be the logical conclusion?
Yes, I'd like. I start a comment here. Let me see if I can show it. Grin and Bear says, "I'd like to hear a geologist's perspective on Pickaxe." Yeah, because the type of rock underneath here, what it takes to make a tunnel from one side to the other, I think it's possible just because they've already made tunnels all over this. I think the distance there would be the problem, but I think this is granite and dolomite. So it would be tough, but it's possible.
So, yeah, they're so close to each other. Thousands of uranium. So yes, it is confirmed that thousands of uranium-enriched centrifuges were moved into its deep granite tunnels after surface strikes. The extreme depth of over 100 meters protects these assets from standard bunker buster methods. We already know that. It remains highly likely that the enriched uranium stock was transferred to prevent its destruction. The Islamic Republic continues to. Yeah, I know that already, but like, so yeah, I know that already that the enriched uranium is probably down there in Pickaxe Mountain. But what I was wondering is that if they're connected if they're connected to each other underground. That's what I was trying to find out.
Armin is talking to his assistant, not me. We're trying to get some answers here, folks, and we got the best research for you guys. So you guys stand by. We're gonna get into it right now.
Right. Okay, hold on here. We have. So yeah, the way I talk to it is to talk to you guys at the same time. So it says, although both facilities operate underground, they are not connected by an uninterrupted subterranean tunnel. The regime in Iran links Natanz and Pickaxe Mountain through shared surface perimeters and direct heavy-duty access roads. Okay, so apparently, even though they're this close with each other, they're not connected. I mean, how would it know? Like, it probably
like ground penetrating radar. Like, there's things that like just like radar on radiology, you can see the bones. Like radar through the ground can happen, and it's especially clear when it's very hard rock, right? Like you would be able to see it, and that I believe that's how they would know.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. Let's continue with the expert analysis of this general over here.
Options. Can we bomb our way in and destroy those sites, or would it require some boots on the ground? I can tell you that both of those are risky. The options are either negotiate an end to Iran's nuclear program, and we're not there, or conduct kinetic strikes. If we were to conduct any strikes on the ground, we would need a safe air corridor above ground and a safe perimeter on the ground. There's no element of surprise here. That's a great challenge. Iran would know we're coming, and presumably they've got a plan to defend that site with booby-trapped explosives, among other things. So this would be highly risky.
Highly risky.
Oh my god, this is the most riskiest operation I can like. Isn't it? It's one of the most riskiest operations in history of modern military warfare. Like this.
Look, I would go in there with explosions. I'd start by blasting the door every 5 minutes, every 5 meters. Yards, not meters. Every 5 yards, you throw a grenade. No, the meters are unholy. The God likes,
well, you said
the other
it, well, you said meter to begin with, so there we go. Oh no,
Allah knows that the metric system is demonic. That's why they say inch Allah. Okay, inch by inch Allah.
Okay.
But the point being, you throw a grenade every 5 to 10 yards, right? Just so you blow up any booby trap. If there's a booby trap, you throw a grenade, it's gonna set it off, right? So you would have to I would go in there blazing with specially explosives, so many explosives and robots ahead of me before I even set foot in there. That it's crazy.
Oh my god! I bet you if they do this, there's going to be a movie about it one day. If they do this.
So let's
100%.
read some of the clues we're sort of seeing here, because the recent strikes that Iran launched with some of their most sophisticated ballistic missiles that we've seen so far, hitting places like Muwafaq Air Base in Jordan, killing our service members, hitting Prince Sultan's Air Base in Saudi Arabia, that is likely directly correlated to the U.S. buildup in the region. Add to that, Iran's new leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, in the New York Times apparently is saying that he is now open to pursuing a nuclear weapon.
Look at open. He was always open. He was always pursuing it. Now this is old, but look at this. These are all the different facilities and different mines. And different power plants. So we have mines, uranium mines. We have enrichment plants and enrichment facilities, and we have power plants.
This territory is so rich in resources. Oh my god,
Yeah.
you guys take over, you're gonna be so rich. It's like the standard of living for everyone, from the country to the city, go up so much. And we knew the Ayatollah was very, very open, all kinds of open to all kinds of stuff, especially nuclear.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I think if you don't bomb it, maybe it's because you're going in. I can't bomb the entrance. I'm about to go in here.
Right.
Apparently is saying that he is now open to pursuing a nuclear weapon. The New York Times writing Ali Khamenei had issued a religious order, or fatwa, prohibiting the use of nuclear weapons by Iran, a stance publicly announced to the International Atomic Energy Agency in 2005. The fatwa had its...
The fact that they took the fatwa seriously is embarrassing, honestly. The fact that
For the Americans, a fatwa is like an order. It's not an overweight Italian. It's not Tony Soprano. We're talking about that's in an edict, right?
Yes, which you could do, which you can undo whenever you want. You could do another fatwa, and then it's kind of like an executive order in Islam, right? And then you could do another executive order removing the executive order.
That's a great analogy.
Easy. Yes. Yes.
limits.
So this is why it's embarrassing that the Obama administration and John Kerry took it seriously, because you could have asked anyone who's an expert. You're like, this it's easy. They could because they oh my god, a fatwa banning nuclear weapon, that means they're never gonna do it. They could just remove it when they want to.
The thing is, what the New York Times, which is on the left, is reporting is that this is a nuclear danger. And for the New York Times, who's on the left, to say that signals, okay, we're all lining up to excuse going in. I would need 2 more papers at least to be on this train. And they might just reference this article and make their own article.
Mhm.
But if things start moving that way, I would take that as a signal, like a dot on the graph that's, drawing a line to something's going to happen.
That's a good way of looking at it, by the way. Smart.
Agency in 2005. The fatwa had its limits. It did not block the government from taking steps towards weaponization. American intelligence officials assessed Mojtaba Khamenei, the son, did not share his father's hesitancy and was interested in pursuing an advanced nuclear weapon. Add those up. Where does it get us, Dan?
Yeah, so the father was also interested in a nuclear weapon. He just wanted to hold the Americans back until they got to a position where they could make it. That was the point of the fatwa.
Well, listen, I read that story as well, but I think it's less of a change than we might believe. Because, look, Iran had been enriching their uranium to 60% for quite some time. You don't do
This guy gets it. This guy gets it. Like, oh, they had a fatwa. He wasn't interested. Like, you're enriching uranium to 60% for what? For what? It only has one use case when you do that.
Look, Iran had been enriching their uranium to 60% for quite some time. You don't do that unless you want to pursue a nuclear weapons program. And that was part of the reason why we bombed those Iranian sites in the 12-day war last year, and why President Trump deployed U.S. military assets to the region this year to try to induce Iran to negotiate in good faith, which they refused to do. Now, we have really degraded Iran's military capacity. However, their ballistic missiles and drones are dispersed throughout the country, and the arsenal, some residual element of those arsenals remain, which enables them to strike our assets in the region and present some challenges for us if indeed we were to conduct on-the-ground operations. I think for the Trump administration, there are other ways to get at Iran's nuclear program, including further kinetic strikes, decapitation strikes of Iran's leadership. If this iteration of Iran's leadership doesn't want to negotiate, perhaps the next one will. And I'm quite sure
So I don't like how his plan is still to go to decapitate for the sake of negotiations. I don't think that's going to work.
No,
Yeah, agree?
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like that's look, I can understand why he would say this, why they are saying this, right? Because you're not just going to tell him, right? I can understand why he has to lay out this case, because he might not even know. Like he's a station chief, but I don't know if he's a station chief or a former station chief, because something tells me a CIA station chief, number one, if he's sitting there, he's not telling you everything. Number two, if he's sitting here, he's probably retired. So I gotta, like, are we talking to somebody that's listening inside? He may have a line in, but what he gets from inside, is he gonna tell us? Like, this might all be part of the fog of war, and part of the fog of war may be us making them think there's gonna be a deal. My problem with that is them accepting a deal, but we could always just say, oh, they didn't meet the requirements. Oh, they went back on it and lie. We could just lie. I mean, as much as they lie, I don't care if we lie.
So to your point, Monkey, there's a new report from inside Iran that the Islamic Republic is reporting that Larijani, when he was alive, he came to the conclusion that the Americans are not actually interested in a deal, and they're lying. And he came to this conclusion because he said that during the negotiations, Trump kept on asking us to change something and come back to him. And we changed it. And when we came back to him, he was not happy and he was asking for another change, even though we changed everything according to it. So if this is true, that means that you're completely right. Like this whole deal is a game that the Americans are playing with the Islamic Republic. And they're not actually interested in a deal.
But I mean, do they do that also? That's the thing. Like, could it be that they both do that?
They definitely do. However, the thing that you point at is true, because if the fear is like, what if they accept? Well, if they accept, there's enough excuses to say, nope.
I don't like the way you changed the thing I wanted. Oh, I wanted you to put this, but I want you to say it like this instead of say it like that.
Or we just changed our mind. Like, thank you for the time that you gave us to do not what we wanted to do. And thank you for changing the deal exactly to the way that we wanted. But Like what? Like that's like what are they gonna do? Like what if they accept? It could be like I changed my mind. Like sorry,
There's
not
one
sorry.
thing I remember Jeff saying is that at one point they had accepted that they wouldn't enrich their own uranium for weapons material. He said, no, no, any uranium, accept any uranium, like even if you get it from the outside, not just what you enrich, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot
Correct.
of things that you can do and have a good excuse to do it. But I want this to be instead of some, all, and any, like things that make it all encompassing, but it's very little changes that take time. So you could like
But
drag it out.
even if hypothetically, they just do everything that you want, okay? And you don't even have to come up with excuses. You're the United States of America. It could be like, that's what we thought we wanted. Or you could just not talk at all. You don't even have to respond. They could come up with the perfect deal that you and giving you everything that you ask for, and you don't even need to give them an excuse. You just bomb them after that. Once you have enough time to do what you needed to do, you just respond. But here's our response: boom, you dead. Everyone died. Right. So
Another
it's the
thing you
United
could
States.
do
Yeah.
is say one of our regional partners requested this change, but you don't say which one because none of them did.
Right. Yeah. Or you could just tell them that we tricked you. We asked you all of this to buy time, and
No, no,
we were
no,
never.
no, no. You don't. You never like
I'm
reveal the full deck. But I get that you would want that satisfaction. You
yeah.
know, maybe see
I
them
like.
at a call, see their face fall, like, oh,
Yeah. No, yeah. This is what I know. This is not gonna happen. I'm like, this is the final call. The final call. I'm like, you idiots. Do you really like look at the deal and look at every line like, okay, this is good, this is good, this is good. Put it on the put it down and get the pen and look at them in the eye. Are you morons? Do you really think we were gonna accept a deal? Could you not see that we were just buying time to destroy you? You are all about to die. And you fell for this obvious trap. That's what I want. That's what I want.
I muted myself, but I'm laughing. Okay, I'm laughing my ass off over here. Yeah, I agree completely.
That would be a dream come true. Anyways, let me finish this video. I have some super chats I need to respond to, but let's finish this first.
Iteration of Iran's leadership doesn't want to negotiate. Perhaps the next one will. And I'm quite sure the president and his security team huddling and considering all of these options in advance of Prime Minister Netanyahu's visit next week.
Well, that's right. And if you talk about decapitation, you're looking at Ahmad Vahidi, who is the IRGC commander, was the guy in charge of the Quds Force under Mojtaba Khamenei's father, now running things and clearly striking our service members and bases in the Gulf region. Dan Hoffman, as always, great insight. Thank you for taking time.
Okay. Well, again, that's not the plan that we want, but I understand why they have to say that. Monkey explained it. We got some super chats. Oh, this is better for you to read, Monkey, because I think you understand the stuff better.
Albert Hoffman says the 7th Special Forces Division specialize in arming and training rebel forces to enact regime change. The civil operations part of the 7th Special Forces deal with civilian population. So these are the guys specialized. I think that these are the ones that got the 2 lightning strikes instead of 3. I'm not
Ooh.
sure. I'm not absolutely sure. But
The purple one?
yeah, you would have like the knife and the three lightning strikes for some. These are more like operators, but the ones that deal with the civilians, specifically with civilians, and I think they also do communications. I'm not absolute like you got to understand. I've been gone for decades. Like I've been out of the game for a long time. I just remember and keep my eye on news and military things because I love it. But I was never high rank. I was never a tier 1 operator. I just remember by the people I used to meet, and I think it's super cool. And I think those are definitely the people, like among the people that I had actually met. I thought it was curious. Why you got 2 lightning strikes instead of 3? So, oh, because I deal with the civilian stuff and communication. I was like, all right, excellent, man. He was a cool dude too. I remember it was really freckled, very freckled guy. White guy. Very red, very ginger.
Wow,
I'm getting
that's what-
flashbacks from my time back in the service. But cool people, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think he's absolutely right about this.
Hmm. So yeah, I while you were speaking, I looked into it. It says the 7th Special Forces Group Airborne is a specialized U.S. Army unit activated on May 20th in 1960. Unconventional warfare doctrine explicitly includes training and arming surrogate forces to disrupt or overthrow hostile regimes, civil operations and civil affairs teamwork to manage civilian populations and local governance during operations. The unit has historically executed major operations in Panama. Ooh, that was a successful one. Panama starting December 19th, 1989, and El Salvador throughout the 1980s till 1992. Yeah. And then the U.S. Special Forces maintain these capabilities globally to counter adversary networks like those controlled by the Iranian regime. Man, you Americans have something for everything, right? Like, it's pretty amazing. They have a
Hey, a
special.
good mechanic
force.
has a tool for every occasion.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Flesh into Leopard with the super chat saying, there comes a point you have to choose a hard option. There are no soft, safe options left. I 100% agree with that. Like, hopefully there are, hopefully, I mean, the most optimistic take is that that's what the Americans also understand, and they're all of this talk for negotiation and deals and MOU is them preparing for that hard option, and they're buying time for it because it requires preparation. Why Monkey is angry? Why are you angry, Monkey?
It's an
Okay,
accident.
happy.
I was looking for some data.
Oh, okay. Change that shortcut.
I can't. I gotta program it into a whole bunch of stuff and put it on my
Okay.
Steam Deck.
I'm like,
My Stream
did
Deck.
I say something? Like, did I say something wrong? Like, it's
Because
scary.
I have to use a shortcut that's not bound by any keyboard key.
Yeah.
And last time I did it, I couldn't get it to work correctly to switch between. It was a mess. Once I get guys, give me a follow. Once I get monetized, I'm gonna be able to like get someone to program all this stuff for me.
Yeah. Okay. You could ask me, you could tell me, I could do research for you as well if you want to give me all the information.
All right.
Hold on, you guys. Yeah. All right. We got a Mark of Reality being a member for 2 months. 2 months, saying how many targets did we get in the last 13 days? So let me look that up. So the 13-day strike campaign systematically destroyed critical Iranian regime targets, including drone depots, command centers, and radar sites across the coastal regions. The precision operations degraded. Okay, but what's the number? Okay, but just give me the goddamn number. Dozens of high-priority Iranian regime military targets were successfully degraded during the 13-day consecutive nights of intense precisions. I just need the goddamn number, you goddamn idiot. All right, here. Individual military releases confirmed that over 300 targets were struck in earlier 3-day waves alone. A single major operation on July 11th accounted for hitting roughly 140 military installations. Wow. Special regional bombardment reports, such as Operation in Afaz on July 23rd, recorded upwards of 35 strikes in one night. So, yeah. So apparently the number is over 300. That's what I got.
I just feel better that I'm not the only one that causes out my AI.
Yeah. You know what? I need to stop that because they tell you, because I try to be kind to people. I try my best to be kind to people, but with AI I don't feel like I need to be. But I think because I don't feel like I need to be kind to AI, it's going to turn me into an unkind person. So by having a habit of being rude to my AI, so I'm thinking that maybe I should also be nice to AI, not just to humans, so it doesn't turn into a habit. I feel like
That's not the real reason. That's not. You don't want when they become our robot overlords. You don't want them to remember. It's like I remember how you talked to me. It's like, oh, please no.
okay, sure. We got a question here I wanted to respond saying, so who is the current definitive ruler of Iran currently? Great question. The answer is no one. It doesn't exist. It's like a whole bunch of people competing for power. Really good question, by the way. Really good question. And if you understand that it's no one and there's a multiple different sources of power competing, then you understand this more than everybody. Right now, from a political perspective, Ghalibaf has somewhat of the upper hand, not from a military or financial perspective, but from a political perspective. But an upper hand doesn't mean absolute definitive ruler. Right? Great question.
Okay, I found the one with the 2 boats is civilian and psychological operations.
Okay, so Carolyn is saying, could you update us on action against Iraqi proxies? So last time I checked, there are continuing. So there is arresting people, and there was an announcement also from the Iraqi Prime Minister Ali Zaidi that there is going to be some sort of a deadline for some forces to give up their weapons, and if not, they're going to go for them, and it's going to be major consequences. I don't know how able he is going to be to carry that out, because the armed forces, like the risk is that we are going to have like some sort of a civil war in Iraq, because as much as we have been very impressed with Ali Zaidi's movement against the Islamic Republic proxies in Iraq, arresting the politicians and giving information to the Americans to bomb Hashd al-Shabi or the PMF, the Popular Mobilization Front groups, where they need to. And some of these armed forces have given up their weapons and have accepted to integrate themselves into Iraq's official army if they have to. Some of them, the most important ones, have refused. But a lot of their key leadership have been dismantled. I know some of them were supposed to be arrested, but they managed to run away and leave Iraq. There's like a lot of surveillance and precision targeting continuing against them. But have you heard anything else?
Yes.
Monkey? Where?
Yes, I heard there was an attack, not an attack, like an attempt to make some arrests at some bases, and one of them was just like they tried to go into a base and they were repelled from that base. I think this was a PMF base, a Hashd al-Shabi base. It was a large military contingent, but like apparently they didn't want to go fall into a firefight. We got to remember these, like some of these Iraqi forces have like M1 tanks. That's one of the things I saw during the arrest. I'm talking about the Iraqi forces, not the PMF or the Hashd al-Shabi. I think they're the same thing. So there was an attempt to go into one base. They were repelled. I think that is what might have led up to that basically deadline. And because of that arrest, I would look for arrest attempt leads to firefight in Iraq, because I think this was very recent, like last week.
So I got a list here. On July 20th, the Islamic resistance in Iraq threatened attacks if coalition operations against the Iranian regime were broadened. So that was 20th. On same day, July 20th, U.S. forces completed critical explosive clearance operations in northern Iraq following proxy drone activity from July 18th. On July 21st, militia factions affiliated with the Islamic Republic issued extremist threats in response to ongoing strikes. On July 23rd, broader security was heightened. Yes, following a drone incident near the Iraqi border and key routes in the Persian Gulf. And on July 26th, which is basically a couple of hours ago, coalition forces maintained strict operational dominance to suppress rocket and drone launch threats from the Iran regime. So A lot is happening, by the way. I know a lot of people are not paying attention to that. That just means like a lot of activity going back and forth. So good question, by the way, Carolyn. And Kevin with a super chat, trying to get us closer to the confetti. We're only one away. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Kevin. Sherry saying gifted. No, just she gifted. Sherry just been giving us gifts. Thank you, Sherry, for the gift basket. 5 people are now members because Sherry bought a membership gift. Thank you, Sherry. And then Fleshy Interloper saying, praying, sorry, Armin, for freedom for Iranians. Well, I appreciate that. Why you say sorry? Why you have to say sorry? Okay. I don't apologize for your beliefs. Okay. I don't apologize for my atheism. Why are you apologizing for your for having faith? Like, don't ever apologize for having faith. And I will never apologize for my atheism. Okay. Don't say sorry to me. You know, like, you know, I'm more than being an atheist. I am pro liberty, right? So, right. Thank you. I love you, Fleshy.
I have an open source report on this. I could read it real quick. It's from the 24th and 25th, circulating mainly on social media OSINT accounts of limited. They describe a confrontation in Baghdad area where Iraqi security military forces and fighters at a PMF base linked to Iran groups, Iraqi forces from Baghdad Operations Command, accompanied by elements of the Ministry of the Defense 2nd Brigade, approached the base belonging to the Islamic Resistance, a common branding for the PMF, in Jurf al-Nasser area. They acted on intelligence about drones stored at that site, intended to be removed and intended to remove or seize them. Those inside the base confronted the Iraqi forces, preventing entry. The Iraqi units withdrew without gaining access, reportedly to avoid further escalation. Accounts describe it as a clash or confrontation with the Iraqi forces were unable to enter and were effectively repelled, and forces pulled back. No widespread reports of casualties sustained. Yeah, it's like they had a firefight, but they didn't want to commit. That's open source report. This isn't like official report, but like that reports from around the area, some videos.
Interesting. Okay, so I want to show you this really cool video. But okay, so but let me see this. We got guys, look at this. We got No Borders in confetti time, and Kevin celebrated us getting to confetti. You guys are so awesome. We have such a amazing community that are so interested in being supportive and seeing our channel grow. You guys, I don't deserve you guys. You guys are awesome. So No Borders Sports and Kevin, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Okay. So look at this. Let's see what we have here. Look at this. Watch. CENTCOM releases dramatic video showing U.S. forces boarding a commercial tanker as the naval blockade against Iran continues. U.S. officials say 12 commercial ships have already been turned away, while others that ignored repeated warnings were disabled or intercepted by American forces. CENTCOM reiterates U.S. forces remain highly vigilant, focused, lethal, and ready. So let's play this one. This is pretty cool. Oof. Oh my god, look at this again. This is how this is a ship that was ignoring their orders, so they probably blew up the engine.
You can kind of see the round coming, right? They must have slowed that down.
Isn't that pretty cool? This is so cool. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
I love this shit. Like right there, they're beating pretty. Like this looks like this area was already cleared because they're not, they're not searching and clearing.
Mm,
They seem pretty calm. Like that, like there's already a guy up there recording, you know.
yeah.
So obviously this has all already been cleared, or that guy wouldn't be up there recording.
Yeah. True. Okay, then we got this, which is a big deal. Look at this. Close the previous one. Over the weekend, despite a pause in U.S. strikes on Iran after 13 nights of bombardments, two new maritime flashpoints emerged. The Houthis resumed attacks in the Red Sea, targeting Saudi Aramco. This is a big deal. Saudi Aramco facilities, while Ukraine claimed a strike on an Iranian commercial vessel in the Caspian Sea. So Ukraine is joining in. Okay, accusing Russia of providing Tehran with satellite intelligence. Thank you, Ukraine. Slava Ukrainian. Welcome, welcome to the fight. So, I mean, you have
Always.
always been in the fight. Yes, always, but more openly. But let's look at this. This is the attack, the Houthis attacking Aramco. So, guys, if you don't know Aramco is Saudi Arabia's giant oil company owned by Saudi Arabia, like owned by the government, is one of the largest companies in the world. Like it's basically Saudi Arabia's oil company, Aramco, Saudi Aramco. So this is the attack on their facilities. These are the. There's no sound, so I'm gonna make the sound for you. Did that help? I don't know. Yeah. Yes. This is Go on.
No, go ahead.
No, this is devastating for Saudi Arabia. Like really devastating. Like this is their greatest nightmare right now. This is what they were trying to avoid at all costs.
What's happening here is this is the other thing about time that a lot of these conversations doesn't get mentioned. The longer these goes, the more production ramps up elsewhere, the less effects it has on the economy, the less people care, right? Like, and the less people care, the more people will be like, yeah, do whatever you want. Like, as long as I get my oil, you can go in there and do like take out the IRGC. I don't care. The people that are not, no, we got to get out of there. We got to get out of there. A lot of them are being influenced by China, by some people in the Indo-Pacific, some in the European that can't take the price hike. Because okay, so Americans can't take the price hike. That doesn't mean everyone can. People that were right on the edge and this pushes them over in the edge, they're gonna get pissed, right? And you know what? Their Euro partners should have helped. Maybe more people in the Indo-Pacific should have been like right there ready to help. But the point is, this is strategically doing. If you look at the long game, the more this happens, the more China's going to have to depend on our friendshoring and onshoring, and the more Europe is going to have to depend on its own resources and our friendshoring and onshoring. The more Japan is going to count on Alaska instead of counting on the Malacca Strait. Like what this is doing is taking attention completely away from that oil and looking for oil elsewhere.
Yeah. The diversification of energy sources is going to make the oil from the Middle East less relevant, for sure.
And that's that. Who's that dangerous for? All the Persian Gulf allies. That's not good for Saudi Arabia. That's not good for Qatar. That's not good for Oman. That's not good for anyone in there that has a lot of oil or natural gas. Because if you can't count on their shipping and everybody's looking for shipping elsewhere, the insurance is going to stay up there. Like the insurance price might just stay higher there. And if it gets to a point where it's always higher there and it's always cheaper somewhere else, you just dry up. You could just have to sell cheap.
Yeah. So that's a long-term effect, though, right? Like it's not gonna we're gonna
Absolutely
immediately. Yeah,
it'll take like a year.
Yeah. Hopefully, with alternative sources of energy, also, we will, like nuclear, for example. I'm a big fan of nuclear energy.
Did you see what the president just signed on that? We were opening
No?
so many plants on that. So many.
Really?
So many. I'll send you the link.
Okay. Oh, Rooster with a super chat saying, "How could you, Armin? Making them apologize." Yes, I'm a bad atheist. I make people apologize for praying. Sorry, guys. I'll be better. I'll do better. Thank you, Rooster. Thank you for the super chat. And then Sherry saying, "You do deserve the love and support, Armin. You created this community. We created this community, Sherry. We did it together. Me, Monkey, you together. We did it together. It wouldn't have been possible without you guys. So thank you." And yes. And thank you. I appreciate you saying that. And then Mark with a super chat saying, "Proud to be a member of the amazing community and be always right." Wait, what is that? Oh, how do you pronounce that? Monkey, help me there.
Mark
I don't know.
of reality. He's a mark of reality.
Oh, I know how to pronounce mark of reality. That thing after the emojis.
Oh, sí, okay. Si vi cum parabellum. Semper fidelis. I think that's Latin.
Okay. Did you really think I can't pronounce mark of reality?
Sometimes you the words get mixed up for you. You know,
Okay.
sometimes I'm like, this is so obvious. Why doesn't he know?
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you for reading mark of reality for me. I appreciate that. Okay. Then we got another super chat saying, I'm from Amir the Cricket, saying it's an honor to be in this community. Bunch of kind-hearted, hard workers, intelligent, and amazing people, led by the one and only Armin the Great. Oh my God, thank you. Oh my Amir. Mwah. Love you, Amir. Ehef, thank you so much for the super chat saying America has spent close to $6 trillion dealing with the Middle East, about 200 billion because of Iran directly, the Islamic Republic directly. We either end it now or spend more trillions more. I would say that more of the, directly maybe 200 billion. I would say a lot more of that 6 trillion is somehow connected to the Islamic Republic in Tehran. Like I don't think it's an exaggeration to say at least 90% of the 6 trillion wouldn't have been there if the Islamic Republic was not in power. But directly, maybe 200 billion. And yes, the strategy of this is what the ISOCOX, the isolationists, don't understand, right? They're like, oh my God, this war is costing us so much. The strategy of containment of the Islamic Republic is astronomically more expensive than the cost associated with getting it done with and removing them. Astronomically higher. So you're correct with your analysis.
Which is why Russia and China fund them and support them and give them technology.
Exactly, because they know it's costing the Americans. This is such a good point, guys. If removing the Islamic Republic was not good for the United States, then why would the CCP and Putin try to keep them alive? There's no other reason other than the fact that it costs Americans more. Good point. That's a fantastic piece of evidence, Mikey.
Not just keep them alive, but give them technology, a lot of technology. Give them a lot of backing, a lot of political support. There's a lot that they put into this cancer spreading. Oh, and I sent you it's like a 1-minute clip, but like if enough nuclear goes up, that would make oil go down. Like if there's a lot of power plants opening, oh my God.
Yes. And on top, I will play that. Here, I'll play that right after. It's 1-minute clip. In addition to that, you want to maybe read Shauna's super chat as well, because I think it's also relevant to what you're saying, and then I'll play this video that you sent me.
Congress passed NDAA, which seizes California land for drilling. Building starts 2027, so that's just next year. That's half a year away from Shauna. Thank you very much, Shauna.
Yeah, so all of this is going to have the effect that it's going to make the Persian Gulf oil less relevant, the Strait of Hormuz less relevant, and also this clip that Monkey just sent us. Let's watch this.
The first new privately funded advanced reactors to turn on the United States in over 4 decades, and making sure that these groundbreaking designs were safe to build and test so quickly was a challenge that required a historic partnership between these innovative companies and our administration. We have brilliant nuclear people. We have a lot of brilliant people, but we have brilliant nuclear people on our staff. In the past, it often took 6 years or more to approve a reactor design, if they were ever approved at all. Most of them didn't get approved, and maybe rightfully so. But now America is building again, America is dreaming again, and we're leading the world and pioneering the next generation of nuclear power. There's nobody even close. We've taken a lead over the last 2 years that has been, I hope, insurmountable. We'll see. But let me ask Director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy, Michael Kratsios, who's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
I love
This
that he
is
makes
great.
his executive orders. The font is like 30. You can look at like
Mhm.
look over into it, and it looks huge. Like he writes
Mhm.
these with a huge font, so everybody can read it clearly. I sent you another link there. It's not really a video. It's more of a report on the F-35 situation in Turkey from Emily Schrader, because I know you like her as a source.
Ooh. Okay. I'll add that to our list. Let me go a little bit back to Iran, and then we'll also make sure that we watch that.
Sure, for later, whenever you want.
Yes.
Just thought I just
Whenever.
want to make you happy. I thought you're gonna like it. You're gonna love this.
Ooh, really? Okay, you know what? Now I'm excited. Now I can't wait. Now I have to play this. Okay, so guys, we were concerned that the F-35. So we don't. Apparently, we were talking about the President Trump's plan to allow Turkey to buy F-35s from United States. We were saying that's a bad idea. It was pointed out to us that doesn't have much of a chance of going through, so we shouldn't be worried. And now Emily Schrader is posting this saying the U.S. has officially confirmed that Turkey cannot rejoin the F-35 stealth fighter program. Oh my God, this is great. With the Senate Department informing Congress that Ankara fails to meet the legal requirements of for readmission. What is that? Readmission? What is that word? Hold on, let me see.
Readmission.
Readmission. Oh my God,
This is the ones that I'm like, I mean,
readmission. Sorry again. Sometimes I'm retarded. Hey,
I just think
English
it's
is
funny.
not my first. Yeah, okay.
Me
English is
neither.
not my
Me
first language.
neither.
Yes.
Yo hablo español, papá.
English is not your first language?
Nope.
Okay, so I don't have.
I
that
learned
excuse.
English
God damn.
after I moved to Florida. I'm actually a Florida man.
Yeah,
Explains
really?
a lot.
Okay.
Oh yeah, for many
Yeah.
years. But I was born here.
So this is great, by the way. Thank you for sending me this. Texas is Texas here in the chat. If she was here, she would be posting like, "I told you so. I told you so. I told you so," because she was like, I was like concerned with this, and she kept on saying like, "No, Armin, this is not going to happen. No, Armin, this isn't going to happen." So if she was here, she would be like, "Texas, if you're watching this later, message me on Telegram. You were right about this." So let me play this video. Why is this song on here?
Oh, you gotta mute it.
I'm gonna mute it. Oh, this is like the video is not anything. It was just a caption that was.
No, the only
just
part
make-
was the text is what I wanted you to see more than anything. The video is just cool.
Okay.
Like that is a cool
It's
jet.
the video seems like it's rubbing it in. Like, look, Turkey, this is what you don't get to have.
Never gonna get it,
Like,
never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it.
Wow. Okay. All right, we got more super chats. Fleshy Interloper with the super chat. I don't get this one. Do you understand this? Saudis didn't call, more fool them, price going up, oil prices are going up.
Yeah. The Saudis need to get into this because what Saudis didn't call, more for them, more fool them, price going up. All right, Fleshy, you know what? Neither of us are completely sure about this. The Saudis didn't call, more for them, price going up. If the
More
price
fool
going up, they do make money. If they are getting oil through the pipes, a higher priced oil is good for them because they need money. But Fleshy, I'm gonna keep an eye out. What you talking about here? Like, go get into it. I'm keep an eye out for you. I love you, homie.
Love you too. Love you. All right. Carolyn is saying, could we also get updated on China's shenanigans? So yeah, China is like, we have more reports that show that China has been the main source for the man pads for the Islamic Republic, taking down the American planes. They're also, they continue to be the main purchaser of the Islamic Republic's oil. But I mean, so they try to support them through that. I mean, the ones that they got through the blockade removal, that didn't get to the hands of the Islamic Republic because the Americans are holding on to that. But the ones that they sold through land routes, that is funding the Islamic Republic. There's also like a whole bunch of Chinese shadow fleets that might be getting some. I don't know if China is. This is something that we might want to look into. So I know a lot of the oil that the Islamic Republic officially sold, that money didn't get into their hands. But I wouldn't be surprised if China is finding ways to buy oil from the Islamic Republic through shadow fleets and land routes, and finding ways to get the money into their hands through, I don't know, maybe cryptocurrencies or other ways. That's why it was so important when Scott Bessent came in and froze a lot of loopholes around the ways that China gets money into the hands of the Islamic Republic. The China also keeps providing satellite data, right, to the Islamic Republic, for them to be able to make better decisions against the United States. But is there anything else that I'm missing here, Monkey?
We were talking about this when we talked about the Bab al-Mandeb, the Gate of Tears, that through that pipe, they might be trying to sell to China, and that China ships are going through there. That's a little update on China news. I would like to share a resource called China Uncensored. These guys have been at it forever. They're a great resource for that kind of news. I like to keep an eye on them. I'm going to put it there in the chat for you guys. This guy has been tirelessly working against communism, but against specifically the CCP. Like, he doesn't hate the Chinese people, none of us do, but the kind of things, that evils that the CCP has done against the Chinese people. He also talks about how they have involved themselves in this war. He has various reports on that. And their part in Venezuela, their part in all of the problems around the world, because basically they're very much have a communist philosophy, even if they've changed their market strategy. And they are like very much an authoritarian thorn on the world side.
Yeah. Also, one thing I forgot was the chemicals that goes into creating fuel for the missiles that the Islamic Republic needs. That's also comes from China, and they continue to provide that to the.
Was it a chlorine, petrochloride, something like that? They use for solid fuel. Solid fuel is what makes these things go farther and more stable, and China does deliver that to them.
Before we go to the next super chat, now that you mentioned that China still has communist philosophy, because I need to go to the washroom and be right back. Let's listen to Nick Fuentes calling Tucker Carlson a communist. How about that? And I'll be right back.
Okay.
There was a really interesting clip from Tucker yesterday and he's so easy to clock, because he is nothing if not calculating, choreographed, consistent. Tucker did another interview yesterday, and he reiterated something which he said in a New York Times interview from a couple of months ago. And he said that the only real issue in politics is economic. He said our real problem is the tax code. He said issues like race, even immigration, religion, he said that's all a big distraction. Not only are those not real issues, he says those are trivial culture war issues. He says, but those issues are actually being pushed by the billionaire class to divide the people and distract them from the only real issue, which he says is that labor is taxed at a higher rate than financial speculation. He says the problem is that the tax code is more favorable towards income gained through investments than it is to income earned through labor. He says, and that's the only issue, and that's the issue that matters. And the billionaire class just talks about race and immigration and religion to divide us.
Yeah, this is your side. This is the horseshoe. The far right eventually turns anti-capitalist. So this is basically what's happening. They're turning anti-capitalism. This is just.
But that's his competition, so he has to call it out.
Yes, yes.
And I went into a lot of detail on this in the group chat, but I also talked about this on Telegram and on Twitter. This is a Marxist analysis.
He's right. He's right. He's right. This is why the Nazis were the socialists. This is why your side is the woke right. You have to embrace it, Nick Fuentes. Eventually, if you get this far right, you're going to turn into a commie.
There's going to be a yarmulke back there one day.
Yes, he's going to give up on this. All of these people.
I won't trust him ever, but he'll flip.
Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly.
Analysis. That is textbook Marxism, because it is a Marxist belief. This is Marxism, that the history of humanity is a history of class warfare. Everything is class warfare. Everything is a proxy for socioeconomic class struggle. And when he talks about the billionaire class and how they're using these other issues, he's saying effectively this is a form of class warfare. To the extent that...
You know why he's doing that? Because it's popular. People are upset that their lives are not good. It's like the evil millionaires and billionaires, it's their fault. It just sells very well. It's like it's fueled by jealousy and this feeling of helplessness and the lack of ability to grow. And then, people would just sell you hate for the people hate for the people who have succeeded. And that sells. This is why communism sells. It's garbage, but it sells.
Look, I like this comment here because it says the political spectrum is a circle. Some people say time is a flat circle. And some people say the earth is a flat circle. And that's the people who are leaving Nick Fuentes and who he wants back. He wants the flat earthers back. He wants to wake them up. You don't want Tucker. I'm the smart one here. Don't go for Marxism. Yeah. Go for hardcore anti-Semitism. You want to make the money. You just, you want to be like smart Goyim. You don't want to be dumb Goyim.
Yes. Yeah. So like, stop hating so Nick Fuentes is like, probably is going to be like, stop hating the rich, become rich. But that's not going to sell. If the low IQ ones, they're not going to get up their ass and do things that makes them rich. They just want to hate the people who've already been successful. That sells easier. Tucker's product sells easier than Nick's product here.
It's a Venn diagram problem because, don't hate the rich and don't hate the Jews. That's overlapping. There's a lot of Jews that are rich, so it's going to be really hard. Like, don't hate the rich, but they're Jewish. I'm stuck.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. A lot of anti-capitalism comes from anti-Jewish. Like, when people say like the bankers, they basically a lot of times mean Jews. When they say the elite, they mean Jews. When they say like the people who rule the world, they're talking about the Jews. So you're right. There's a lot of overlap of anti-capitalism and anti-Jewish hatred. But yeah, let's continue.
Division, ethnic and religious division are being promoted. It is to stir up division and disorganize the working class, the poor, the laborers, you could say the proletariat. It is to stir up division and disorganization amongst them so that they cannot bind together, unite, and use politics to go after the bourgeoisie, the capitalist class, the billionaire class. And what distinguishes one from the other? What are the billionaires? What characterizes the billionaires? It is that they own the productive means. They own capital. A billionaire in general does not maybe necessarily.
I mean, honestly, this whole dividing the world into capitalists and laborers is makes no more sense in the modern world at all. I mean, it didn't make sense to begin with. It makes even less sense now because, first of all, everybody it can be a capitalist, even if you have some just with a little bit of labor. If you just save some money, you could go buy a stock and be a capitalist and have labor and capital at the same time. And the return on investment on labor has become so high that even capitalists are now doing labor, like basically white collar jobs. So they're also doing labor. So the capitalists have turned into laborers because they just get paid so high, even though they have capital, and the laborers have become capitalists because it has become so easy to become an investor. Just get an app, you download it, even if you have, like, I don't know, $100, you could buy some stocks, right? So there is no line between them anymore. Like, there is a difference between rich and poor, but rich being the capitalist and poor being the laborer, that's not the case. You could be not very rich and have capital, and you could be very, very rich and see so much money from your labor that also you become interested in doing labor as well. So that division of the world makes no sense anymore.
Not only that, like I would say, poor people have more access to stock than ever. There's more than ever. Like, remember when Trump did the thing for babies, that babies can start getting into stocks? I don't remember the name
Yeah.
of the program, the Freedom Fund or something like that.
Maybe capitalist.
Baby capitalist. All right. This is not just for babies, because if you get that in the mindset of every working family, how capital actually works, a lot of working families are too busy to even understand stocks. But if you do this, you get them to understand and you get them to access it. And the more you access it, the more you're invested, literally, the more you'll understand it. I think, yes, it's still probably the top, I don't know, of 2% of the rich own like 50% of the stock, let's say, because that's still hundreds and hundreds and maybe thousands of people, right? So they may own like most of the stock, but there's an increasing amount of regular people that are investing and understanding. And I think it is genius of Trump to do the Trump accounts, because this will get an astronomical number of, I wouldn't say astronomical, maybe I would, because that's anybody who is even slightly conservative and has a kid. Maybe some center left people will even try it, because if you have a kid and you're not enough into comment in politics to care, you care more about your kid, it might make you understand. I think it's not just good for the economy, it's good for the psychology of a nation to understand these things. It makes them better understand how stock works, how capital works, how investment works, how to watch what's best for your nation, how to better vote. Because a lot of voting is just, uneducated and it shouldn't be.
All right, let's finish this and go back to Iran updates. Back to our regular program.
They have $1 billion in cash, but they own real estate, they own stocks, they own businesses, they own the productive means. And so they make their money by owning capital. And he says the billionaire class, the capitalists, the bourgeoisie, they're promoting race, religion, ideology to divide the workers. And what characterizes the workers? It's that they do not own. They don't own their homes. They don't own large amounts of stock. They don't have large amounts of capital. And how do they make their money? By selling their labor. And so Carlson says the rich are dividing the workers so the workers don't look out for their class interest by using the state to change the tax code. He says because the tax code is not taxing financial speculation and investments as much as it's
This is the most unproductive thing in the world. The most unproductive in the especially in America. In America, you have the most opportunity to go from being poor to being rich more than any other country in the world. And all of that energy and all of that potential that you could put on advancing and getting richer and making more money being used instead to fight the rich and attack the rich, it's the most unproductive thing you could do. Like, imagine all of the resources and motivation and energy that is put on trying to bring the rich down. If all of that was focused on trying to bring the poor, lift up the poor, we would be so far ahead. But these people misdirect the motivation and the goals that these people should have to something so destructive and so unproductive.
I would add a point here. We have the most progressive tax system on earth. It is the most progressive tax system on earth. If you go to Europe, if you go to UK, you're going to have the VAT. You know what the VAT is? It's a very high value added tax that everyone has to pay. If you're dirt poor, you have to pay that. In America, more richer people do pay more taxes. If you're going to look at the percentage of the tax base, it's mostly rich people. A lot of poor people do not pay taxes. They may pay some local state taxes, but that's not because of the means of production and all this. That's because state is taxing them, the poor people, and it's usually blue states, for as a matter of fact, right? So if you look at the pure, federal tax base, we have the most progressive tax system. But because of our free trade, we can withstand that. I'm not saying I like it, right? But I'm saying it's there, right? Like to imagine that other places have a fairer tax system is a lie. It's an outright, bold-faced lie. They pay so much more. The poor pay so much more in their value-added tax.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you for that. Let me do some super chats. Shauna is saying one caveat is that the U.S. Navy and Air Force active duty and vets have expressed concern that it will interfere with weapons testing. What is this referring to, Monkey? Do you remember?
What could interfere with weapons testing? I'm guessing with what could interfere with weapons testing? With weapons testing, I don't know.
Shauna,
What
can
could
you put it in the chat? Yeah, can you let us know? Okay, I'll come back to this. I don't know what this is referring to. We're gonna keep an eye on the chat. If you see it, Monkey, can you start it? If she tells us the context. Jakatai saying unintentional result of joining this community, reinforcing American patriots' pride in our country, something the left tried really hard to destroy. Wow. You really think we had that effect? Thank you, Jagatai. Monkey, you think we had that effect on people? That is
Yes. Yes, that's pretty much a fact. Like it tends to happen in conservative circles, but one of the things that is very well pointed out here is how GWAT wasn't a failure, Vietnam wasn't a failure. Like there's a lot of the things that for us patriots that get labeled as failures, that when you come here, you know it's pointed out to you with logic and facts that no, you're not. We didn't fail, not a failure.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm so proud to hear that. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And both Monkey and Jagatai, I appreciate you guys saying that. Thank you. Shauna gave us context. So she was talking about the oil drills in California.
Yeah.
Okay. So now she's saying one caveat is that the U.S. Navy and Air Force active duty and vets have expressed concern that it will interfere with weapons testing. Oh, okay. Now that makes a lot more sense. Thank you.
We might have to move the testing. That's the only thing I would say, because we got a lot of states. Some of them pretty empty.
It's easier to move the testing to another side. I don't think you could move the oil to somewhere else, right?
That's a possibility. And I don't know how much jobs are in that, because that's a military job. So it doesn't count in as much. It counts in the local economy and that the people live there and buy locally, but not as much as the oil does. The oil would create a lot of jobs.
Look at this. Look at Stick and Beans appreciating Monkey bringing us good news. Yeah, Monkey, that was actually really good news. You made me happy. I think a lot of people are also happy now, saying stop working when her turkey can't get F-35s. Phew! What a relief. Let's hope it stands and that Saudi will be rejected a reactor. Yes. Now let's go for the side. So Turkey, check. Saudi, no nuclear facilities, please. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Monkey, for that news. By the way, we appreciate you.
You know what? I
You know,
also said that they wouldn't get it. Like I know Texas said it, but I said it too. So we both
you
should
said
get
it too.
credit.
Yes, yes, yes.
Uh,
Monkey.
we could share.
Yes, we can share. You're right. You're right. I should have. I'm sorry. I should have said that. You also meant. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I
Yeah,
forgot too. I thought I had to think about it for a minute. It's like, wait a minute. I think I did say this before, but I've totally forgot to.
What about the Saudis getting nuclear facilities? Do you think they're going to get that?
I think that's basically more of a threat than it is a promise.
So you don't think they're going to get that?
Oh, let me. Oh, well, this might happen for you. Let me look. Let me show you. Let me show you how fast we can build reactors. Let me show you how little we can build reactors. Let me show you how many reactors we can build. You think that oil you got is still gonna be worth a lot for a long time, or you gonna help us with this war we got going on here while your oil is sellable? Because you got to get this done now, buddy.
Okay. So if we get a confirmation that Saudi is not getting nuclear facilities, I won't forget. We're gonna come back here and we're like, Monkey told us. Okay, we're gonna come back here and we're gonna remember this. Okay. And let's go to the next super chat. Fleshy Interloper saying Saudi either plays both sides, their cost goes up.
Yes, dither and play both sides, their cost goes up because it prolongs the war. If they play both sides with us and the RGC, both sides with us and China, their cost is going to go up. Why? Because it prolongs the war, and it makes it harder for them to sell. And the more nuclear that goes up, the more worthless the Saudi oil is.
Thank you, Fleshy. Thank you. And then Shauna with a super chat saying USMCA not renewed because China was using Mexico and Canada as a backdoor to funnel funds. Also, Tucker is a commie. Fuentes is a theocrat. Both are bad. Yes. Yeah, guys, like just because we're showing Nick Fuentes, it doesn't mean that we agree with him or anything like that. We just want to hear what our ideological enemies are saying. Don't I should have actually mentioned that because some people are new here. They might think that we're Nick Fuentes fans. We're not.
It's also a form of mercy. Like this is called monkey mercy. Monkey really hates Piers Morgan. So when you show a little Nick, you show a little less Piers. So it drives the monkey less bananas. But I imagine Piers will make the rounds again. But it also they are a good weapon against each other because everything we just heard is a good weapon against Tucker. Because if this is what Tucker is saying, we could just flat out expose this guy's being a commie. And I'm not saying that Nick is good, but he lays out very succinctly and precisely the how and why Tucker is being a commie. So we can use them against each other.
Okay.
I also agree that this deal with Mexico and Canada, it's better that we get it from California than Mexico and Canada because we get to punish Mexico and Canada for backdoor funneling bad people.
Great point.
No, backdoor funneling sounds dirty. I didn't mean it like that.
Oh my God. Nobody thought about it until you said it. Okay. Mark for the super chat saying the US is not currently a capitalist country. Oh, it is. It's a mercantilist system with socialist programs. We have a debt-based currency and a government that is enslaved by the central bank through debt. Okay, so debt is not necessarily a bad. Is not a bad thing. Okay, if your future growth projections are high, you need to be in debt, and I think that debt is the reason why U.S. economy is growing so fast. So debt is not necessarily a bad thing. And there's a lot of policies by the central bank that I completely agree that I'm completely for not having the central bank having this much influence over U.S.'s economy, but the government is not enslaved by the central bank. I think that might be an exaggeration. And U.S. is a capitalist country. That's the reason why its economy is doing so good. Having some programs where it has too much government involvement which I agree the U.S. has too much government involvement, is still better than anyone else. There are rooms for improvement, but not to the point that you could call it not a capitalist country. It is definitely a capitalist country. Do you agree with that, Monkey?
Another point that I would like to make is like when people have foreign debt, like if a lot of people have American dollars in their accounts, they don't want America to fall because that means their money disappears, right? When you have the Saudis and they have billions and billions of dollars in American dollars, if American falls, that money becomes worthless. You understand what I'm saying? Could they use it to purchase land in the U.S.? Yes, if we allow it, but if not, they have to invest in our companies, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean they'll have controls if we have the right kind of structure, right? So debt is not just, I wouldn't say it's a great thing always. Like there is a balance issue, but when other countries are very invested in your monetary policy and they're very invested in it succeeding, it tends to be a stabilizing force for you. It tends to help you a little bit on the outside. I assure you, the Saudis have probably billions upon billions in American debt. And if America can't pay, they're screwed.
I think because a lot of individuals don't know how to manage debt, and there's a lot of bad debt. I know, for example, credit card debts. We have this assumption that debt is a bad thing. Debt is a really, like, if managed well, debt is a really good thing. In fact, you should have more. If you're growing so fast, then it's irresponsible not to have a lot of debt, because you're borrowing at a lower rate. You're making it, like, if you are so productive that everything that you're making has, like, I don't know, between 15% or 20% return on investment, and you have access to capital at, like, I don't know, 5%, 3%, 6%, which United States does, then if you're not borrowing to build stuff, not having debt would be irresponsible at that point. Like, you're leaving
Another
money on the
point,
table.
like I'd like to put on this. Elon doesn't hold a whole bunch of assets. He holds a bunch of debt, because if he had a whole bunch of assets, he'd pay a bunch of taxes. I mean, I'm sure he pays a lot of taxes, but the more that you have that is fucking pure capital and liquid, the more that it gets taxed. Like, one of the incentives into investment is that if your money is just sitting there, it's going to get taxed. So you want to research into R&D, you want to get property, you want to get assets that pay you off in the long term. You want to invest in equipment like that. That's an asset that kind of depreciates, but it still produces more than it depreciates. So that's why you want to spend, I'm not a business monkey, but I've seen a thing or two. I know a thing or two. Am I right here? Am I on the ball, or am I crazy?
Well, we'll see. We'll see what people decide. Let's go to, what do you think about this, Monkey? Netanyahu.
You didn't hear a word I said, did you?
Well, I didn't understand what you're saying. I did hear it.
Look, what I'm saying is people like Elon, they hold a lot of assets that are debt. Do you have machines?
So let me correct you. Would you be interested in saying, like, so
they
assets
depreciate, but he gains more. Like, yeah, there are assets that depreciate, but he gains more from their use than he loses from their depreciation.
So when you have assets and debt are not separate, so assets are things that you have, debts or equity are how you fund the assets that you have, right? So it's not like he doesn't have asset, he has debt. He has assets that are funded either by equity or debt. So it's not like it's not something that is an asset or it's a debt. Like, these are not separate from each other. Calling something debt is how you fund it.
Exactly.
Debt is okay, so debt is how you fund the asset. So it is still an asset.
I'm just explaining to them that his debt is not pure debt. It's tied in an asset. And that asset has productive value despite its depreciation. Like, people don't just have debt. They have usually something that's productive. They have land.
So
land is more of a...
So let me translate what you're saying. You see if I got it right? So you get debt. With that debt, you get asset, and the asset is more productive than the interest you're paying on that debt, and that's how you become more productive, and you contribute, and you make wealth.
Yes,
you make wealth. Okay, there you go.
You make wealth, but you're not paid at such a high rate. You're not taxed at such a high rate.
Okay, good. let's go to this. Let's now go. Is it okay if we go to this now? Is that
Look,
So
I
what do you,
can't explain this by myself. You're a very smart person. You know more about business than me, way more. So I'm kind of like, kind of learning here too.
that's okay.
At least how to explain it better.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. When you fund your assets with debt, there is a lot more tax benefits to it. That's true.
That sentence is what I needed. Thank you. That's the one. I'll
Okay.
clip it out later and write it down because that sentence it summarizes everything I was trying to say.
Okay, there you go. Okay. All right. So Netanyahu, I'm not going to play this clip because he is he's speaking Hebrew. But I'll just read the translation. Saying tomorrow I will travel to Washington to meet at his invitation with President Trump. Guys, this is a big deal because we know what they're going to be talking about, right? This was supposed to happen earlier. It got canceled because the reason why it got canceled is because the expectation was that we're going to go to war, like a major escalation. So it was canceled because they wanted to, focus on the war. But now that the military operation got canceled, he's coming, right? He's saying after that, I will participate in a ceremony honoring a great friend of mine, a great friend of Israel, Senator Lindsey Graham. I must say that he has been one of Israel's greatest friends since the establishment of the state, and it is only fitting that we pay him this honor. I will meet with President Trump to discuss all the issues currently on the agenda, including the situation in Iran. So this is a big deal, and I think there's going to be a lot of talk about it by anti-Israeli, Israeli haters. So what's on the table? Do you think they're going to be planning the next round of military operations?
Stop by New York, go over to Mandami's office and say, "What you gonna do, homie? You gonna do something? What you gonna do? I heard you talking shit. Hey, shalom, motherfucker. What's up? What you gonna do? He ain't gonna do shit. But he should go with 3 security limousines, those big Yukons, just park at the mayor's office, get down, say, yeah, I want to talk to Mandami. Mandami, I heard he was talking like he wanted to do something. I'm here to see what he wants to do. Does he want to do something? What's going on here? And spread it to the press. Have every Jew show up in New York because I bet there's a lot of them. And they're going to be like, "Oi, vey, what's up, motherfucker?"
Oh my God. I had a video that was just that. If I could find it, I'll show you. Oh my God. I wish I could find it.
I would love that so much. It would be so badass. Like, I know Mandami ain't gonna be shit. You know how much shit he talked about Trump, went to the Oval Office, kissed his ass? I remember that. I remember Mandami being sitting there with Trump, being all buddy. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you're gonna talk shit behind his back. When you're in front of him, you're zipper diving like a motherfucker.
Yeah, and a lot of leftists saw that as a win. For some reason, like, oh my God, look at him. He's like,
that's called
like
cope.
Sort of
that they were coping.
Yeah, actually, with regards to that, I think President Trump spoke about this, about Mamdani. Here, let me see.
He's fomenting hate. He's supposed to be the mayor of all New Yorkers, Jews, Christians, Muslims, everyone. But he's trying to turn one group against the other, and he's foisting hate and fear. I speak to Jewish Americans in New York, and they're afraid right now. And I don't think it's accidental that after he made this hate speech against Israel and against me, the next day, a Jew is stabbed coming out of a synagogue. I think, and with a cry of Allah is Akbar, Allah Akbar. And you know what that means. So I think that it's shameful. This thing is very bad for New York. I think it's very bad for peace. But the answer to your question, I intend to come and speak the truth, speak for Israel and for the Israeli-American alliance from the podium of the United Nations. He's fomenting hate.
Oh, wait, he is coming to New York.
That's why I'm saying the mayor's office. Like, he should stop at Mandami's office. Oh, we got a comment here from Rosina Bam Bam. Monkey, you talk brilliantly in every dialect. Okay, so here's the thing. Puerto Ricans a lot of times sound Cuban, like Scarface, or like they're from the Bronx. This is a thing that Puerto Ricans do unconsciously when they start talking English. It just happens. I think it's some kind of magic. I don't know why that happens, but it tends to happen. I think you should go there. Go to Mandami.
Okay, here I found the video I wanted to show you. Here, there we go. This is New York.
L, it's for the way you look.
Well, I need to mute this because that song is copyrighted. This is I like this. Oh. This is great.
It's halal and kosher.
Yes. He should go for a visit, yeah, to the mayor's office for sure.
Absolutely. Paint it as we're trying to turn the tone down. But go, just go. Like, I ain't scared of you, mother.
Oh my god, this frame is really good. I love this one. Okay, wait, we gotta go back. Wait, let's do an Iran update, and we'll go after this. We'll have some more fun.
Satellite imagery suggests the Iranian regime is quickly rebuilding its nuclear sites that the U.S. targeted about a year ago. How alarming is that to you?
Well, it's not surprising that they'd be trying to do that. And of course, they're trying to rebuild much of their conventional military as well, particularly the ballistic missiles, their cruise missiles, their drones, and they've been effective at doing that. So, look, I think they're going to continue to pursue the means by which they want to gain leverage. They want to rebuild capabilities, which is why I'm a big believer in the blockade in terms of cutting off all sources of revenue. Because if they don't have revenue, Mike, then they can't rebuild their military. They can't pursue their nuclear ambitions. They can't support their proxies in Hamas or Hezbollah or the Houthis for that matter. So there's a whole lot they can't do. So I again like to see us strangle them economically as much as we can.
So this is the thing. That's what I want to see as well. But then people say that, well, we can't because we need the oil that they have, and we can't tolerate higher, gas prices in the U.S. before the midterms. This is why the monkey was saying that this should have been done a lot earlier, so we don't have to be in this position right now, right, monkey?
Absolutely. We need to get it done now.
Is it too late right now to be able to avoid the midterm? No,
because this is an underestimation of how hard and fast we can go. Like the amount of territory that we can cover at the speed we can cover. Like this is like the amount of bombs we can drop in a couple of days. It's astounding. Like if we went full bore on just scorched earth, specifically on military targets and government targets, full scorched earth, and then say, hey, we're doing a humanitarian mission so we can connect the people of Iran with having an organized government. So it's not a military operation, it's a humanitarian operation. And then we use Delta Force for the centrifuges and the Isfahan, Natanz, Pickaxe, and Fardo. And they dedicate themselves to that. And the rest of it is just vetting and training for military with the Artesh, but also for local governance, have that kind of training going on too. Look, this is how you organize the government in a more meritocratic way, so that you can have better trade with your neighboring towns and among your people, and have like that kind of business training all over. It's like start making the people more invested that locally, and do that kind of vetting. You can go from the bottom to the top pretty quickly. Because you only have to take the towns. Like you can't think of it like the whole map. It looks crazy. But if you put the map all black and then put in all white, the amount of areas that are populated, it seems more feasible. Am I correct in this?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, my understanding was that it takes a long time to do this. But you know more about the possibility of military operations than I do. My assumption was it's too late. If they start now, there's no way to wrap it up before the midterms, and it will make the oil prices too high and difficult to bring down. And if we start right now, the worst of it will be right during the midterms. But again, I don't know.
My question to you. This is the military side is gone, right? We already basically flattened the IRGC. They have no even way to move to the coast to do anything about anything. They don't have any vehicles left. They don't even have a vehicle left, right? So, okay, imagine I take the map of Iran, I paint it black, absolutely black, and I put in white each person, how widespread is it? Like all covered, or is there little pockets of population that I can go to? These people, we're going to train you, vet you, see who we can work with here. Is it
Oh.
is it that widespread, or is it more pockets where like cities?
Oh yeah. Oh my God,
It's
pocket
like,
cities for sure. No. Like, yeah, there's
so
like,
sending
yeah.
people here, bam, we take care of this city, we vet it, we train it, move on to the next one, and keep going. Would that be a feasible operation? Because then we're counting on the Iranian people more than we are on the military, because the military just did the operation, they just do the bombing. Now what we're doing is focusing on vetting and training people as fast as possible, and we can
I mean,
sell
yeah.
that even if we're still in, because we're doing that. We put that as a humanitarian operation. We give the victory publicly. Hey, this is being funded by the funds that we confiscated during the MOU, and we're using that framework to bring a government in exile into power. You're going to be able to vote for who you want, but in the meantime, we're going to use these funds, these IRGC funds, to reinvest in your towns and rebuild your towns. We're bringing food. You're going to be able to not just get free food, but be able to have commerce, so you guys can sell your food at a good price, have jobs for your people. Because a lot of stuff that happens with Africa is they just give people everything and they don't get to form businesses. They don't get to like help the economy, that kind of thing. Reinvestment from the IRGC funds. That's what I'm talking about. Post operation.
Yeah, I
If you
mean,
do
this is
that-
you know that we have been talking about a similar plan. I have been, you have been, Jeff has been talking about a similar plan for months now. You're just adding some more details to it, which is actually quite interesting. I like them. The framework that we have been talking about for months now is relying on the Iranian people and getting the Americans paid for their services by getting the oil tankers in the Persian Gulf, giving it to the Iranian army to sell it at the market, to be able to provide the cost of Americans providing mostly air support for the Iranian army, training, air support, having the Iranian people city by city vetted, trained, and then armed under the management and leadership of Princess of Pahlavi and his team, getting the Ukrainians involved to provide drones and training as well, pay the Ukrainians as well for their drones and their services, using the oil tankers in the Persian Gulf. That will be a double win, because now Ukrainians will be using that money against Russia. Something I've been pointed out is that it's good to start in southern Iran. If you start at Bandar Abbas, might be more difficult because there's more ways to attack you. Chabahar might be a farther away. It's not as strategic as Bandar Abbas, and it wouldn't get you an immediate win because you're not freeing up the Strait of Hormuz. One thing that you could sell as a win to the Americans. Two things there's 3 wins to the Americans that you could sell if you have this plan. Is, first of all, we liberated the Strait of Hormuz. Even if Iran has not been liberated, we have a more immediate win that the Strait of Hormuz has been liberated, because from Bandar Abbas, if we expand the army, you basically make it more difficult for the Islamic Republic to close the Strait of Hormuz. That's one win. Another second win that you could sell to the American people is that we're not paying for this. The Iranian army, the newly formed Iranian army, is paying us. Not only that, we're actually making a profit out of this. We're actually making a profit out of providing air support and training and arming to Iranian people. Another win that you have for Americans is that you could tell them that we're not sending troops on the ground to invade a country. We're just helping you, doing the humanitarian support for the Iranian people to liberate themselves, which is an easier win in the United States. And also, one thing I wanted to add, I think this plan, instead of this army, if it starts in Bandar Abbas, or I don't know, maybe Charbahar, this will, instead of having an immediate, instead of going north, I think they should go east and west from Bandar Abbas. So Charbahar would be good because it's farther away from the Islamic Republic launchers and drone operations, so there's less risky. The downside to it is that it's not as strategic. It will take a while to show a win. Bandar Abbas is more risky. requires more air support for the Iranian people in the newly formed Iranian army, but it will be more of an immediate win because that's IRGC's center navy. Basically, that's the command center for IRGC's navy, and basically you will remove the Strait of Hormuz from the Islamic Republic. So that's an immediate win. And then if you do Bandar Abbas, instead of moving north, you need to move east and west first before you move north, because you want to basically get all of the Persian Gulf away from the Islamic Republic. And honestly, if you manage to get all of the south, getting to Tehran will be easy because you have already cut Tehran's access to its revenue. And not only Tehran would not have access to the revenue anymore, the Islamic Republic would not have access to the oil and gas revenue. The newly formed Iranian army will have all the revenue, most of the source of the Islamic Republic's revenue of all the gas will now go into funding this newly formed army, and they will be suffocated, and you will be richer, and then it will be easy then to march north and eventually liberate Tehran. That's the plan, but you added some additional details regarding, I don't know, supporting.
I have a question.
Yes.
What if I'm not doing one, I'm doing three simultaneous? 3 cities in the south, one southeast, one south center, one southwest. We're gonna taking the biggest cities, south center, biggest city southeast, biggest city southwest, and from there moving up. We're not doing one, we're doing 3. We're doing it simultaneously because we want to control the coast and hand it over to the people, because once the people control the coast, it's basically over for influx.
So there's
what would you pick? What would you be your 3 cities?
I think that might be a better strategy. So here's the benefit, here's the cost. The cost is that if you start with one city, then if you're forming an army there, it would be easier for you to provide support if it's in one city. Okay, but if you do at 3 cities, then you're also
you're underestimating how much stuff we can put in one place.
That's what I was gonna say, right? So I was gonna say it, and then I'm gonna take it back, right? So first of all, I was thinking it's easier to provide air support for one area rather than 3, but at the same time, it's more difficult for the Islamic Republic to spread its forces into 3 places as well. So if based on the fact that it's easier for United States to cover 3 cities than it is for the Islamic Republic to spread its forces in 3 cities, I think that strategy actually might make sense, because it's easier for United States to handle 3 cities. It's more difficult for the Islamic Republic to handle 3 cities. So yes.
But what 3 cities? Like, let's say you control Karg Island, you control some island in the east, like, and you're already controlling that. You got the oil, you're going to use it for funding the people. So what would be the 3 biggest cities in the south? Like southeast, south center, southwest.
So we could go for Chabahar, Bandar Abbas, and Ahvaz. How about that?
Which was the one in the middle?
Bandar Abbas is in the middle. Chabahar is in the east, southeast. Ahvaz is in the southwest. Most strategic city for oil as well.
I would do a 5x5. Then I would do a humanitarian mission so that these places can come under the control of the transitional government as a humanitarian aid mission.
Okay, that's great. Let's send it to the Pentagon. Send it up.
We got to talk to Jeff for that. He'll be in later. We have an upcoming discussion.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we figured it out. Let's do it. Let's go. Carolyn with a super chat saying, someone give Armin a magic wand. Okay. Yeah, see, there you go. That's what I mean. Thank you. Oh, okay. So here's a question, Monkey. Why are they not doing that right now already? Maybe they are. And okay, let me adjust that. Why haven't they yet done that?
Why haven't they talked about it like that? What they're gonna, this is my suspicion. I don't like it, but this is what they might do. After the escalation, right? We're gonna give them one last chance when the stock opens, right? Probably they'll talk about it tonight. By the time the the stock opens tomorrow. We'll talk about having a preliminary deal. By Wednesday or Thursday, they'll break it. They will start firing on something they're not supposed to fire. And then we could have like massive operations like, look, we tried everything. Everybody knows we tried everything. We can't keep doing this forever. Right now, at this point, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. She'll fool me 6, 7, 8 times. Come on, I gotta like smack you. I gotta take you out. I can't let you be around anymore.
But-
You just and
Okay,
that's
but
what
that's what you think is going to happen. But
Yeah.
but here's the question though: why they're not doing what we just said? Why is it like or something similar?
why haven't they done the 5x5?
Yeah.
I think we're having trouble with regional partners.
Okay.
The Houthis were kind of a corner that we wanted to handle. Saudi Arabia is coming into play a lot. Notice how much remember when there was a lot of news about Turkey, F-35, blah blah blah, Turkey. That was a loose end that needed to be tied up. I think the missing loose end is Saudi Arabia getting into the Abraham Accords and the Houthis. We took care of Iraq, we took care of Lebanon, or we are taking care of Iraq and Lebanon. We at least have the partners getting Saudi in line with the Abraham Accords, and getting the Houthis in line so that the Saudis don't have to deal with them. Could be a loose end that's being dealt with. That's the only loose end I'd see.
Okay, let's respond to this because this is something I think you will have. I don't know what you have a lot of you have a lot of opinions on. So I just wanted to make sure I played for you.
That sort of is the good news out
But
there.
if we can't handle $4 oil for a period of months in order to disarm Iran of a nuclear weapon, we're not a superpower anymore.
Yeah, but there are a lot of Americans who their kitchen table issues matter to them more than foreign policy. But I wanted to ask.
I don't know if I agree with that because one of the consequences of being a superpower is that you have people who live such good lives that they are less tolerant of losing the life that they have. Isn't that part of being a superpower? That
It's part of it, but these people vote.
Yeah, so your voters will have higher expectations. So you being more sensitive to pain is part of being a superpower because you're a superpower, so people have higher expectations on their lifestyle compared to other places.
I think that's why she just brought it up.
Yeah, no, but this guy is saying like if we can't handle like gas prices at this point, we're not a superpower anymore. But I think that's not right. I think that's a consequence of being a superpower. You are a superpower.
I think he's pointing out that as a superpower, sometimes you have to make tough decisions, and she's saying these tough decisions have consequences.
Okay, all right. Here's the point that I think we agree with here over here. Let's see.
America, it's been killing Americans in large.
Oh, it didn't start from the start.
I expect the president wants to finish this job. This is a regime that for decades has been chanting and saying that its policy is death to America. It's been killing Americans in large numbers, as have its various proxies. I think the president wants to take away its ability to kill Americans or threaten Americans. And I think he's decided that's what he's got to do. That means, at the very least, cripple the regime, take away its ability to project power. This regime had more missiles than we thought, probably. I think that's the case. But we've done tremendous damage to this regime's abilities last year in the 12-day war, this year in Epic Fury, and now I think he wants to get this done. I think he wants to win, not lose.
One thing I think that they should do is when they say this regime has killed Americans, you should mention the list. Like, I'm glad that we keep saying that this regime has killed a lot of Americans. But I think, don't you agree with this, Mikey? Like, you should give.
I could not agree more. I'm so on board with what you're saying.
Really? Okay. Yes. Because that would make it more meaningful. It would have a bigger impact. Like, they killed this many Americans at this year. They killed this many Americans over here.
There is a gap in the knowledge that people think it's the 18 now, and they're forgetting Beirut. They're forgetting, like we say never forget. I think they forgot. I think that needs to be like, I would put it like a 30-second blurb. You know how they do? The Iranians, blah, 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 in Beirut, this many at the barracks, this many at the embassy. In this year, they did this and this. Throughout these years, their new strategy pointed out by their Quds force in Iraq did this, and this, leading to this many hundreds of soldiers dead. In Yemen, they did this and this, killing this many Americans and these many. So at the end, the death toll to Americans is 2,000. I don't know how many service members that how many civilian Americans, and how many thousands from everywhere. Have it a 30 seconds, something you could just throw in every fucking Fox News report. 15, 30 seconds.
With good graphics and like charts and images
pictures
and like,
of blown up stuff, and not necessarily graphic, but something that explains it, especially taking it back to Beirut.
Yes.
Not even the hostages. Go back to Beirut. I would do that.
That's a great idea. Okay. You know what?
I need AI.
You know what, Monkey? That's going to be our goal. Okay. We're going to make Liberty Politics. We're going to make these 1-minute explainer videos. Okay. That's going to be a project. Right now I'm getting better with AI.
What do you think about making it like Creative Commons or open source, like something that anybody can throw in? Like a Fox, you want to use a Fox, please go ahead. Anybody, please go ahead and use it.
We'll upload it on our channel and we'll put the license as Creative Commons. That's what we would do. And then at the end, we say that this is a Liberty Politics. We'll just put our branding at the end so people could come find our other stuff. We could do that.
It's good marketing too.
Yeah, it's good marketing too. Okay. Talking about good takes, let's listen to this one.
This is why it seeks nuclear weapons and intercontinental ballistic missiles to reach our country, all of Europe, and every corner of the planet. The Iranian regime is not interested in coexistence. It's not interested in a permanent cessation of military operations or terrorism. It exists for it. It is difficult for Westerners to understand or accept this, but the regime exists to kill and die killing those who do not conform. It does not fear mutual assured destruction. This is why it seeks nuclear weapons.
I mean, I didn't hear any lies.
Pretty passionate there. It's fucking pissed.
All right, hold on. This is like, I love him. I love him so much. Oh my god. Here, let's look into this.
Or maybe this is also to facilitate this arrangement where we're going to guide ships through the straits. If we can finish off not just the coastal defenses that the Iranians have, but even some military outposts inland, maybe that helps that effort.
President Trump issuing this warning, please let this statement serve to represent until further notice that from this point forth, any and all damages done to ships, cargo, or anything related thereto will be paid for by Iranian money that the United States has in its possession and controls. These damages may be very substantial, but nevertheless, this is the fair and equitable thing to do. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. What's your analysis, Michael?
Well, I'm glad he's doing that. I think he's trying to up the ante on the Iranians to let them know that there's no easy way.
Well, here's the problem. There was attacks on some ships, and we haven't seen a response yet to that. Like, we were supposed to see at least some attacks in response to ships being attacked. But did we see anything so far?
I don't know when was the last ship attack. I know we took some ships out, but they were blockade running.
Oh, that was the United. No, yeah, okay, no, but that was I think yesterday there was the Islamic Republic attacked some ships. Am I mistaken? Am I misremembering this?
Let me highlight a comment while you check. I have a comment here from a warlord. Islam is a warlord death cult from Twitter. Thanks to all our Twitter watchers. The North Koreans gave the regime a Hwasong 15 ICBM, nuclear capable. That's the pointy one. This is I'm not absolutely sure, but this has been a good source. Like everything he's told me has turned out true. So I'll look into it. But I think it's highly likely that North Korea has been involved in their upgrades and their tunnel digging. North Korea is very much into tunnel digging. That's why there's such a problem. And China and North Korea with the petrochloride, I think it is, and the nuclear technology and the ICBM technology, and Russia helping in their own ways. I think this is definitely a problem, and it just manifests itself in becoming a problem for everyone.
Okay, so I was right. The Islamic Republic fired warning shots and forcibly intercepted 6 commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz in the past 24 hours. So 6. I was right. Yeah. And then was there any U.S.? So the U.S. destroyed 6 key bridges and damaged power infrastructure of the Iranian regime between July 17th and July 18th, but there was no response into the ships that was targeted yesterday. So this threat by President Trump has not been, because President Trump said, oh yeah, so no, I'm not talking about this Truth Social post, but there was another Truth Social post where President Trump said, from now on, any ships attacked, we're going to take out bridges and power plants. That hasn't happened yet. What are your thoughts on that?
That is something I did not know. When I made my assessment, hey, it's going to be a deal around Monday, I didn't know that, because that's supposed to have a reply. That's supposed to have a response. And that response hasn't happened, but it has to happen. Unless we're going to do the 5x5, because we could open Monday like that. We go full boom boom all week.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be great?
That'd be my preference.
Yes, it might happen. There are some signs that they're getting ready just for that. They're just buying time to just do that. So you might get your wish come true. Who knows? Hamid with a super chat saying, F anti-America, F anti-Israel, and of course, F Mamdani and his effing Allah. I mean, yeah. Sure. Yeah, exactly. I agree 100%.
I hope BB passes by and tells him.
Yeah. Thank you, Hamid. Love you, Hamid. Thank you always for supporting us. I'm Rick James.
At the end, that says bitch. It's in numbers, so it's hard to.
Okay. I'm Rick James.
It's from
bitch.
sketch, very famous sketch. It's very funny.
Okay. Thank you for the super chat saying the White House has a list citizens that the Islamic regime has killed. It won't let me send a link here. I will post it on Liberty Politics. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, what he means is that he's going to post it in our discussion group, and you guys should join our discussion group because we have daily group calls. So he's going to post it here in the community tab. And other than our community tab, in our calendar, you can see that we have daily, every day we have group calls. And today is going to be open. Open group call means that everybody can join for free. So come there, and I'm going to be there. Monkey, are you going to be there?
Yes, I hope to be. Like lunch has been getting a little longer these days. But if I'm not, I might not be there for the first 30 minutes, but I'll show up.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, come join us. And thank you. I am Rick James Bitch. Thank you for that. Thank you. Share. So guys, if you want to see that, it's going to be in the group discussion. Let me just get a few more updates. This is important. So this is the Mike Waltz, the U.S. ambassador in the UN. So let's see what his recent thoughts are on how things are going in Iran.
Well, remember, the IRGC controls 40 to 50% of the Iranian economy. What you've seen in the last 13 days are strikes particularly focused on Iran's terrorist activities attacking civilian shipping, ships from Singapore, Cyprus, all over the world that have done nothing to Iran. That's been condemned in the United Nations. You hear a lot about our allies and countries not being with us. A record 146 have stood with us in condemning those activities. Shannon, you have to ask yourself, is a country winning that has little speedboats running around? I mean, these are like, I don't know, the Somali pirates with cruise missiles and drones. These are acts of desperation. The Iranian regime is isolated, economically devastated, militarily devastated. And I really appreciated the clip that you just played talking about the suffering that is going on internally. Inflation is spiking, the currency is tanking, foreign currency reserves are gone, and we're starting to see the Iranian government even not be able to pay its own workers and even its own military.
So yeah, the inflation indirectly, short term helps the Islamic Republic. Long term, it causes could cause uprising. But also, this is a good point. Because the regime needs to use its foreign currency reserves to back the real, it also means that the government, the regime, is going to run out of U.S. dollars, and therefore it's not going to be able to buy, I don't know, terrorists, weapons, and stuff like that. So that's a really good point. Yeah, it's like things are, the situation for the Islamic Republic. I know we keep looking at whether military operations is happening or not, but it's a good reminder to know that even without all of this military operation, the Islamic Republic is every day is getting weaker and weaker in many different fronts. So that's a good reminder. Let me see.
Absolutely.
Okay. Here's another point that he had.
The president is keeping all options on the table. I've spoken with the negotiators. I've spoken with Secretary Hegseth. What the president is doing right now, as we've seen all along, is giving some talks, some space. Talks are ongoing. They're happening at every level, from the more technical aspect of it all the way to the highest levels, of course, within both the Iranian government and the U.S. government. What we are constantly seeing, though, is on the Iranian regime side, they are divided. There is internal fighting. Some are seeking the guidance of the supreme leader. Others want to move into a different direction. And that makes it hugely challenging from a diplomatic standpoint, but to get to some reasonable resolution here.
So yeah, this is what we were talking about way before it happened. And now everybody constantly talks about how the division is weakening the Islamic Republic. This is what we also have been saying. This has been only achievable through the ceasefire, the negotiations, the MOU. This was not this bad when the war was going on full scale. So I'm glad that this is getting more attention. Oh,
the game of Durkas.
The game of Durkas, exactly. Carolyn with a super chat. I love that, by the way, the game of Durkas. Carolyn with a super chat saying, is it true IRGC has big crypto operations to raise funds? To raise funds or to move funds? To basically move their revenue from oil and gas and and selling drugs and all of their other revenue sources. But yes, they do have major, and Scott Bessent have been on it, and like there's so many of their wallets has been seized and frozen and taken away from them. But yes, a lot of it goes through Binance, by the way. I don't know if you guys know, but yes, they have major. Yeah, they have.
I have like
crypto
63 cents in one of those accounts.
Yes, but yeah, no, they have major operations. They have so many ways of trying to find ways around Scotty B, trying to figure out how to move the money, the cryptocurrency. It's mostly stable coins, right? So when we hear crypto, a lot of people think Bitcoin. It's mostly, I think it's mostly stable coins and Monero. There's a lot of Monero involved, I think. I don't know, maybe Bitcoin is also involved, but mostly because that's unreliable, goes up and down, expensive to move around. But yeah, but yes, the answer is yes. Okay, I want to take a break from some Iran updates and look at this. So this is a leftist woman blames. Oh my God, no, wait, let me see. Actually, we have to follow. Oh my God, we actually have to follow this news first. So this is a news that just happened yesterday. I don't know if you guys heard, saying at least this is in Berlin, saying at least one person is dead and more than a dozen others are injured after a van plowed into a crowd during Berlin's annual LGBTQ plus Pride event. A manhunt is now underway for one or more suspects as authorities evacuate the area and investigate the attack. So let's look at this and then go to that other video.
We're back with the Fox News alert. You are looking live at Berlin, Germany. The Associated Press is reporting that at least one person is dead and several others are injured after a car drove through a pride parade near the Brandenburg Gate. Authorities say a manhunt is now underway for one or more suspects and have told people to evacuate the scene. Police say some of the victims are dealing with life-threatening injuries.
I wonder what kind of a person would do something like that, Monkey. What do you think?
I bet I know. I bet someone that would not like regular law, they would like Sharia law. Although I would contend that a lot of these protests break regular law. Like in America, a lot of the things that they do is illegal because in some of these parades, they expose themselves and think that's sort of like a preference pride thing. And sometimes there's children around. So I understand that some people are very angry about these things. I don't know if they do that over there, but I know that Sharia doesn't like this. What do you think? What happened to the in Iran when these people, helped the revolution? What happened to them?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, for sure. Like a lot of the stuff that happens at these parades are like not appropriate for sure. But obviously, like I know you. I'm not asking. I know that, like, but obviously, this is like we're not saying that at all to suggest that this is the more disgusting thing is the loss of human life here and the fact that this attack has happened, right? Like I think like that is.
Well, we actually support like your preference as long as you're not doing anything to people that can't consent. We don't care. And that's your personal life. As long as you're not doing evil stuff, you're not killing people, you're not stealing from people, and you're not messing with people who can't consent. Of course, we don't care. Go ahead, be proud of it. That's fine. But these people would attack. They would do this. Like let me make the case. How many times have they done this at Christian events during Christmas? Like this is not about what your preference, what you being too Christian or too gay. It's about you being too un-Islamic.
Yes. Yeah, and let's see what this lady over here thinks. Let's see who she thinks is irresponsible. Monkey, given who do you think she's gonna blame?
Okay, I see the sign. You see that thing on her nose?
Yes.
That's not a good sign.
That's not a good sign. We don't want to generalize everybody, but it's not a good sign. Statistically, it's not a good sign. So, yes. So who do you think she's gonna blame?
Capitalism?
Let's hear.
I'm getting really, really sick of this. I'm getting really tired of having to repeat myself over and over again. So today in Berlin, there was an attack. A van drove through a crowd of people celebrating Berlin Pride Parade that they have every year. It's a huge parade. It's one of the biggest. And they injured, I think at this time I'm making this video, this is subject to change, 17 people and one person is dead. Okay, so it's a breaking story. There are going to be things that are going to come out and change throughout the life of the story, average. So the suspect is an Islamic extremist. That's their suspect right now. That's what I read, okay? I'm not going to say anything about the rest of the Muslim population because of actions of this one person. But what I can say is the people who were celebrating about this were all white men, young white men with crosses in their profiles. Because we've all seen it. We've all seen how you guys react towards gay people and how you wish harm on them constantly. I get a constant hate on my videos, especially about trans people. You're not going to hide behind another scapegoat group and pretend that they're actually the violent ones when it's you. You hold the same exact beliefs that this man who did this attack did. And you're trying to distance yourself from it. And you know why you're trying to do that? It's because you're ashamed. And you should be.
You see the lie? You see the lie? Wait a minute. First she says, oh, you guys are celebrating it. I bet celebrating it means we told you these people are dangerous. We told you, here is the proof. She's going to call that a celebration. right? And then she says you're distancing yourself from it. So what she calls it the celebration is probably people saying, we told you this was a problem. I'm a Christian, but we would never do this to gay people. And she's trying to say that everything that's the opposite of what she's seeing is the truth. Don't trust your lying eyes.
So I have 3 points. First of all, isn't it amazing, even when the news is that somebody, as of right now, the news is that somebody, a Muslim, has killed somebody in a gay pride parade. You still, even when that's the news, you still have to find some way to blame white men. Still have to find, like, how can I blame white men for this attack of a Muslim on gay people? And you find a way. Impressive. Very impressive. Second of all, where are these celebration videos that you're talking about? Where are they? Because I'm pretty sure they would go viral if, like, white men were like, yay, gay people taken out in Berlin, woo, with crosses. Like, I'm pretty sure those videos will go viral.
Excellent.
So that's a lie. Okay. And third point is that we have your videos of your people celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. We have your videos of your people crying for why President Trump survived the assassination. So shut the fuck up.
So this is the twist. If you listen closely, she says celebrating, but it's not celebrating. It's pointing at the pattern and saying, I told you so. She takes I told you so as celebration. That's why I say you guys are celebrating. If you listen closely, she's classifying, hey, this is a pattern, this is a problem, as celebration. You can't point out the pattern because then it's a celebration, right? Oh, this guy is beheading people, like this other guy that beheaded people and this other guy that beheaded people. Oh, you're just celebrating it. No, I'm pointing out a pattern. And then she says, then you distance it yourself. So what people are saying, this is what I think she calls a celebration, and what she didn't show it, is people are saying, look, this is a pattern. Christians would never do this. And she says, you're celebrating and distancing yourself. We're not celebrating, but I think everybody with like a moral view world would distance themselves from this.
You know, white people on a per capita basis commit the least amount of crime. And the fact that you still find, like, other people now is other people's crimes are now blamed on white people. That's
very racist.
It's so deranged.
Yeah, but don't you know the per capita is racist? You can't use that white number logic.
Right. Yeah, I'm using numbers. That's a white thing to do, I guess. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's you're colonizing me with facts and logic. How dare you?
But isn't she white? Like, this is self-hatred, isn't it? Isn't she white? She's white.
When people that have trouble finding partners because of their personality or their appearance tend to make the state their partner and vote against the competition of the state, which is man.
Yeah. Like, how does it feel like to be hating your, like, who you are and your people like this much? Like,
She's smug. Look at her. She's smug about it. She's proud of herself. She thinks she did a great thing. She's gonna get a lot. I made myself look like Greta, but pink and prettier.
I have this belief that I don't know if it's true. So I'm gonna run it by you. Tell me if you could find any other example. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I think in the past, for the 10,000 years old, between the history of civilization is between 10 to 12,000 years. I know humans have been around for like 300,000 years, but civilization is like something between 10 to 12,000 years old, right? We have, for all of this time, I don't think there is any other time in history that we have this much hate for your own ethnicity. Like, we have had a lot of history of like, oh, this ethnicity hating that ethnicity, or like, we had that. We have plenty of examples of that throughout history. But this level of hatred for the ethnicity that you are a member of, this has never happened before to this scale. Am I getting this right? Like, never in history have we do.
You're
we
not
have an
only
example?
getting right, there's pages and pages and pages of arrests where the person being arrested is clearly black, clearly Hispanic or Latino or anything that's not white, and the arrest record says white. This is what Amberly wrote. I thank you, Amberly, for your comment. Like, there's videos of this. I think Asmongold just did a video on it. This is very, very prominent. They are skewing the registration of crimes to contaminate the base data to make it look to equalize. This is about equalization, the rate of white and black crime. The only way that you can hide per capita is by changing the rate of the perpetrator, and that's exactly what they're doing, because per capita is racist. Didn't you know? I think I just told you a couple of minutes ago. You're colonializing me with facts and logic and numbers. How dare you? That's what they say.
So Shana is giving me a super chat saying, Shana saying, I love you, Armin, but white isn't an ethnicity. Oh, I know. They think they are. I mean, white isn't even a category. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. But as long as it's a category in their mind, I'm just gonna. I'm speaking. I mean,
I'll
they're
go even
self-hating
further.
Something. Yeah.
I'll go even further. They never change. They just think ginger is an anagram, so they treat redheads like they used to treat black people.
But, I mean, Monkey, do you agree with this? I don't think like white as a group is even a thing. Like, we have like Germans, we have Danish people, we have Scottish people, we have we have French. These are meaningful categories of people. White as a category doesn't make. We have Russian. Like, white as a category doesn't even make any sense. But I mean, I'm just speaking from their perspective, their worldview. Irish. These are proper categories. These are actual categories.
Okay, the Irish person probably got the joke. Armin didn't get it, but the Irish person probably got it.
What joke? Oh, yeah, I didn't get it.
A ginger is an anagram.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, there's a song about this. Like, what was that guy?
No, what? There's a song about this, and I haven't heard it. I haven't heard it.
Yeah,
I have to find.
There's
this.
a song that starts as if the guy is going to talk about the N-word, like that, but then all of a sudden you realize that it's talking about ginger. Whose song is that, guy? You guys, look it up.
I have
it's
to
really
see
funny.
this.
Yes, it's really good. Yes, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? People in the chat.
Yes. No, but I know what you're meaning. Like, there's like Anglo-Saxon, Slavs, Caucasians from the Caucasus Mountains. Like, there's all kinds of white people. It's not just one white people.
People are saying play it. I'm gonna get a. It's okay. I'm gonna get a copyright strike. It's fine. We could.
Guys, just find it on your own time.
Okay, I'm not gonna play it. It's actually 6-minute long song, so I'm not gonna do it. I'll just show it on screen for you guys. Go watch it. Prejudice by Tim Minchin. Minchin? Yes, Prejudice. Okay, go. This is a song from 16 years ago. So go watch it. It's pretty good. All right. Let me go back to super chats. Casey with a super chat saying Scotty B. Scotty B's would be assassin goes to court soon. Scotty B's assassin. Yeah, guys, I did it. Yeah, so would be assassin. Scotty B's would be assassin goes to court soon. So yeah, we need to, guys. So if you guys didn't know, Scott Bessent had assassin trying to kill him from the Islamic Republic. I'm assuming it, right? Do I remember this correctly? And it didn't obviously succeed. So apparently the court date of that is happening soon. Let me actually bring up the details of that, because if this was by the Islamic Republic, this could bring a lot of attention to the fact that the Islamic Republic does such things. So I'm going to pull the information on that up. Did you know about this, Monkey? That Scotty B's
I
had an
didn't know
assassination
about it
attempt?
until he did a recent speech about the dangers of leftist terrorism.
Yeah, let me see if I remember we actually reported on this.
I think it was the day he inaugurated. He was like the day he got his job. He got his first attempt.
Yeah, okay. So this was in what? No, here. When was this? This is wrong. Okay. Okay, let me see. Assassination attempt on Scott Bessent and the court date of the would-be assassin. I'll bring you this up. Okay, well, this is loading. Let me go to the next super chat. Tin Lee is saying, did you know that in the US, if a Latino commits a crime, FBI data changes their race to white Caucasian? Is that true,
Yes.
Monkey?
Yes.
Really? So you're white. If you become white when you commit a
Yeah,
crime.
look, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point someone went into the army and messed around with my data. That like if I let's say, he's handicapped, make him white.
So
he had an injury.
You have the power. You have
Make
the
him
power
white.
to become white, Monkey. You have the power to become white by
Oh
just
yes,
committing a crime.
lots of Latinos do it.
Okay. Commit a crime to become white?
Yes, that was the purpose. It's not that they wanted to rob that bank. They didn't care about the money. They just wanted to be white.
Wow. Okay, so I got the Scotty B assassination attempt here. I got the details. So this was a 24-year-old man carrying, I'm not going to say what that is. YouTube doesn't like that. A type of cocktail that starts with an M, okay? Surrendered at the U.S. Capitol South Door on January 27th, confessing to an assassination plot against Scott Bessent. The attacker pleaded guilty in federal court on March 27th, with his final sentencing scheduled for August 14th. Okay, but who was this? What was the motivation? So apparently they're saying this was by a domestic loan actor. Was it a leftist?
Yes, it was, but like
Okay.
AI, you know how it is.
It's not going to say it. Let me see. I'm going to ask it though. Yep, it was. So the answer is yes. The suspect harbored left-wing motives, targeting Republican leaders and expressing anti-fascist sentiment during. Okay, so it was a leftist terrorist. Okay, and
Antifa.
then Antifa. So we got another super chat by Stick and Beans. Stick and Beans saying she's the one that is celebrating this tragedy in Berlin, like a vulture gliding the sky, looking for a corpse to scavenge on for her agenda. She happy. Wow, that was pretty visual. That was pretty.
She wants the clicks.
Dark,
She did a smug little clickbait.
right? Okay. Stick and Beans. I didn't know you could write like that. That's pretty. Wow, that's pretty dark and poetic. Like it. And Shana with a super chat saying, my region was settled by Scandinavians, and I don't know how to pronounce that one. How do you pronounce
Aegeans.
Aegeans. They looked nothing alike, weren't Anglo-Saxons, but still put in the category white. Yeah, I know the white category doesn't make any sense. That's exactly what I agree.
Same for black. Or
yeah,
Middle
the black
Eastern.
category doesn't make. Yeah, the black category doesn't make any sense either. Yeah. Hamid with a super chat saying it's so ridiculous that when we complain about Muslims, they call us fascists, but Muslims can act against all religions and even kill people. And when they kill, all those people who call us fascists become silent. It's worse than that, Hamid. They blame white people. Okay. Not only look at the video that we just played. not only they're not silent, they're actually pretty loud. They just find a way to just keep blaming white men, even when
It's not just a lie, it's diametrically the opposite of the truth.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, yeah, exactly. Wow, it's funny. Okay, thank you, Ahmed. Thank you for supporting us. And then Crane Financial Literacy gave us 2 super stickers, one over here and then one over here. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Seems like a good channel, by the way. Seems like it's an educational. It seems like a channel people need these days, for sure. Okay, so I want to do one more clip. We're getting close to our time. Oh, it's not. Yeah, let me see. So Elon Musk just called the Economist editor-in-chief who interviewed him a traitor to the West. Plain and simple. The media thinks Elon is the problem, but the people know the media is the problem. She said Elon is spreading lies and fascism with his 250 plus million plus followers when he literally just pushes common sense. Okay, so this is this guy's commentary. But look at this. Yeah. Go on.
I wanted
go
to
ahead.
say, I want you to listen to what he said. And would it be called racist if he said it about Egypt, if he said it about Turkey, if he said it about South Africa, if the president of South Africa said it, or people in South Africa said this? Imagine anyone that wasn't white saying this from any country that isn't majority white. And you tell me if it would be labeled racist by these same people.
Okay. So Elon Musk posts this clip. I don't know what we're about to play. So I'll answer your question once I played it. This is the segment of the interview that Elon Musk posted himself, and he put in the caption, "She is a traitor to the West, plain and simple." So let's see what she says.
Exaggerate the scale of Europe's problem, and that
I think people are asleep at the switch and do not realize the magnitude of the issue.
I also think that your interventions, however well-intentioned they may be, risk making Europe's problem a lot worse.
How?
Because you are putting your support behind people who are proto-authoritarians, who are not trying simply to, make sure there is better integration of Muslims or to secure the borders, but who have very clear fascist tendencies, and you will
I
cause
think you're just
huge
completely
divisions
making things
within
up.
Europe.
I think what you're saying is total fiction, and really, I'm simply saying that that Europe has to have secure borders.
Okay, on that we
and
agree
should
on.
not
If
let
that's-
in vast numbers of people with views that are antithetical to the accepted views in Europe, and where there will not be some level of safe cultural integration. This is simply common sense.
If all you are saying is Europe should have secure borders, I completely agree with you. Then I have misunderstood what your interventions have been on social media, because that is not what the view I have, not what I would conclude having seen what the people you are supporting and the things you're doing. But if that's your goal, I share your goal that Europe should have secure borders. I
Yes.
think that's perfectly agreeable.
Notice she don't want to specify a tweet, a person. She's not specifying anything. If you look above what he said, it's not in this clip, but he said secure borders, safe cities, and I think it's better fiscal spending. I don't remember precisely. It wasn't the quote above. He said it in another clip, but it was 3 specific things. And those 3 specific things, if any nation that wasn't America or Western, if any nation tried to say that, if Egypt said it, if Saudi Arabia said it, if China said it, if Vietnam said it, if the Philippines said it, no one would see it as racist. If Mexico said it, nobody would think it's racist. But because an American is saying it, because a British person is saying it, right? That's why it's racist. Because you're not allowed to have safe borders. You're not allowed to have safe cities, secure borders, safe cities, fiscal accountability. I forgot the fiscal part. They worded it different, but it's basically what they said. This is like a very reduced part of the clip.
So 2 points that she made, which I noticed. She said the people you're supporting, and she described them as fascist and also authoritarian. She's talking about Tommy Robinson. Do you agree with that? She's talking about
Yes.
Tommy Robinson. Right. It's so hypocritical because the UK government, if anything could be described as fascist and authoritarian in the UK, is the UK government, where people are literally getting arrested for liking posts on Facebook.
Bingo.
That is authoritarian. That is as fascistic as you could get right now, at least. I don't know what's going to come later. And the very people who are fighting for free speech, for having a state that represents their nation, for protecting their borders from a fascist invasion. Not only these people are not fascist, they are protecting their nation state from the Islamic fascist invasion. You call them fascist? There's nothing fascist about being patriotic. There's nothing fascist about protecting the values that has made your country great. There's nothing fascist about standing up to and resisting and fighting back against Islamic fascist ideas.
I want to highlight a comment here from Rosina Bamban that she means Tommy and Rupert Lowe. I think that's exactly who she's talking about.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that was that. I do want to let you guys know one more time that we are going to be in a group discussion. In the group discussion, we're going to have a group call in 1 hour. I will put the link to our group discussion. And again, remember, guys, today it's free for everybody to come join and talk to us. I'll be there. Monkey will be there. He might be a little bit late, but he's going to join us. So come talk to us there. Or if you don't want to come talk to us there, you could just listen to our conversation on Liberty Politics. I will live stream it for you guys there. So you will on Liberty Politics, if you're watching us there, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss it. So yep, that's that. And also make sure that you subscribe to Monkey's channel, which I will put a link to it in the chat. Let me bring up the link. Oh my God, I have so many links here.
Maybe we could get 5 more, folks. Maybe I can get to 775. That last push.
Yes.
To like a 75 videos, 775 followers. Maybe we can get there. I've been working hard. Like in the amount of time I've been out there, 75 videos, guys. Come over and watch them if you would like, and doing good work for you. Appreciate you all. Thank you very much.
We appreciate you, Monkey. We appreciate you. And look at this. I am Marie is saying I will definitely be tuning in, Armin. Okay, fantastic. So I'll look for you in the chat. You better be there. Okay, thank you. I'm just kidding. Threatening people. I'm threatening people. Why am I doing that? Okay. All right. Okay, guys. Oh, also the link is in the QR code in the top left. In case you're watching us on TV, like Armin, where is the link? The link is in the description. It's in the chat. It's in the bio section of Liberty Politics YouTube channel. I've heard so many of you are watching us on your TV, which is amazing. So the link is in the QR code in the top left for you guys. Monkey, do you want to say anything else before we go?
No, just I have a show tonight. Possibly, I had to cancel yesterday. Tonight we might have a show on the 5x5 strategy. It goes into what happens before the stage at which we would rise from the south to the north. So we're getting into that today. I might have Jeff as a guest. These are this is what's planned so far. Nothing's for sure, but I'm gonna do my best to make that happen.
Awesome. Kevin subscribed. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. All right, guys.
Yes,
we're going to go. We're going to go. See you guys soon. See you guys in 1 hour. And until then, I'm Israel Chai. Slava Ukrainian. Cuba Libre. Long live America.
Long live America.
Javicha. Allende.
Allende.
See you guys soon.